This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes.
No way.
From the Aunt and Uncle Studios of Arizona, UFC 254 recap. Khabib the Goat. Khabib retired. Shout out to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Shout out to the MMA news with the MMA Holes. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Hello, friends. We are here, the MMA Holes Hour. We are the MMA Holes. My name is Mystic Boss. Chris. That is JVH. Jesse. How are you today?
Wonderful, wonderful, Moms. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope everyone in the chat is wonderful, wonderful on this Monday night. This is episode number 148. 148. That's right. Khabib Nurmagomedov. He says farewell, drops the gloves inside the octagon, and that is it. Impressive performance against Justin Gaethje. We're going to discuss a lot of things tonight. We're going to talk about Khabib legacy. Khabib pound for pound. What's next for the 155-pound weight class? A lot of stuff to get to, and also we have the phone calls. 3 hours of MMA holes thanks to Uncle Sonosi. Jesse, you pumped up, fired for a 3-hour show.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate it. Yeah, so Jesse is a big Nurmagomedov fan, so I think it's only fitting for us to get Jesse's thoughts on what happened on Saturday night. I mean, Justin Gaethje, now that a couple of days have passed, you got a chance to let it simmer in your brain. How you feeling?
Like any other MMA fan who just lost their favorite fighter? I don't know. I guess I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he was able to fulfill whatever it is he came here to do. He has a career that not many fighters can say they had, you know. So he's a very accomplished fighter, and he did this for all the right reasons. So as upset as I am, you know, it's nice that he was able to do this his way and the right way, you know?
You sad?
No, I mean, yeah, like it's upsetting to know that I'm not going to see him fight again.
When Jesse says he's not going to fight again, he's not. I had a conversation with my pop about this. My dad thinks he is going to come back, and I'm sure a lot of MMA fans out there believe that Khabib will come back.
This guy is not coming back.
We said it the night of, and usually, you know, we have our suspicions with GSP too. Like, I still think GSP might come back.
I have a story on that, and GSP is not even going to ask Khabib to come back, he says.
Well, yeah, not Khabib, but I feel like you have a better shot at seeing GSP come back. Even though he's older, he's a little more brain damage. Khabib has a clear head, 32 years old. Some may say he's in his prime. It's kind of wild seeing such a dominating champion leave the game at this point. He is just getting better and better, showing a little jits. Still hasn't been cut. Apparently he lost another round. All right. But it was a fun fight for the short period of time that it lasted. Talking about Justin Gaethje, I am not surprised. I mean, we were yelling and screaming on this channel saying no shot. And the way it went down, it's not shocking in any way. It really isn't. Khabib dominating Justin Gaethje makes sense. Now, the first round, Justin made it a fire fight. But the interesting part of this was Khabib just was like, all right, fucking punch me, kick me. I don't care. I'm going to come forward reckless, and take you out.
I think him knowing what he was that this was his last fight, he approached it a little differently. You know, maybe that's why he took a little more damage than he normally would. And you have to remember, Justin Gaethje
took no damage.
Justin Gaethje also held. Yes, he did. He took damage in the first round for sure.
Yeah. Where's maybe a little redness on his leg.
29 significant strikes. It's not a lot, but
did you see his face?
Like, I'm not talking about like damage you can see, Moss. I'm just talking about damage that was thrown.
He ate some shots for sure. His leg was a little red. Might have been the most damage I've ever seen on Khabib. A little bit of redness on his leg, but Khabib comes forward and destroys him. Like, seriously. I mean, that first round, I believe Khabib got. Who gives a fuck what the judges say? The second round, Khabib solidified it with the finish, the submission. And, you know, the end of the first round with that armbar attempt, we were like, whoa, look at this motherfucker. Making it look easy on Justin. Like, mounting him at will. Justin was just like, what do I do? And then the second round happened, and Khabib just nailing the coffin, got it done. Justin got tired. And
Justin got caught.
The thing that really sticks out, though, in this fight is something I said earlier. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to be doing a lot of that tonight. The people that said that Khabib and his father, Khabib not being the same, you were right about him not being the same, but I was right about saying this is going to be a different man. And look what he showed on Saturday night. This was a man with his focus. You couldn't be more focused than this man. He literally wanted to run through Gaethje. He likes Gaethje. There's no animosity between the two. He has a lot of respect for the guy.
Even helped him during his weight cut. Did you know that?
Did he really?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Yeah, I have it in a story. Apparently, Khabib was having a pretty tough weight cut, and Gaethje was there to help with a couple of pounds, I guess. I don't
Really?
Yeah, I don't
wow,
really
that's really
know
cool.
the full story around it, but
we'll get to that in a little bit. That's actually pretty cool. Justin Gaethje seems like a great guy. You know, as much as we joke around about Gaethje and Khabib, they both seem like really great guys. But what Khabib showed on Saturday night was a man that did this for his father. His father gave him even more power. He came in with an injury. His toes were like taped together. He had broken toe. He had, what did he have, measles or some shit? Or I don't know what the fuck. He was out of
he was sick.
Mumps, whatever the fuck, or humps. I don't know what the fuck he had, but he was out for like 4 weeks training. I mean, anything could go wrong. He said his foot may be broken, but his spirit's not. The guy is a fucking savage, and it's going to be sad to see him go. Whether you like him or you hate him, it's going to be sad to see a guy like Khabib go. Jon Jones is running his mouth a lot. We'll get to that. Play that video of Jon Jones. Not surprised by how he's acting, but it's worthy of talking about.
Well, the first thing that Jon Jones had released, you thought that maybe he was going to be a little humble about it, and then when he just followed that up with other shit, then you're like, all right, come on.
Yeah, we'll get to that later too. But I want to give respect where respect is due. Listen, I'm a big Conor fan. Conor's my guy. Everyone knows this. Conor's my guy. But to see a champion like Khabib is another like once in a lifetime personality, once in a lifetime fighter, and to see a guy on top of the game just bounce is crazy, man. He just got better and better. He started finishing guys when he had the belt. He's like, no, I'm going to take everyone's soul. Really impressive stuff watching this man. And the fact that he is dominant on the ground yet still makes it exciting. A lot of these fighters drag you down to the ground and bore the fuck out of you. Not Khabib. Yeah, he may sniff jocks and all those jokes, but he does make it exciting. It's tough to not get amped up for a Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, and I'm going to miss the guy. But, you know, Jesse.
What?
There's time for a new king. There's time for someone to step up to the plate and take the throne of the 155-pound weight class.
I have a story on it, so don't go jumping on that right now. We'll get there.
We will get there. But before we do, let's talk to the chat room and see what you guys think about the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Dylan Dennis is still talking crap to Khabib after he quit. What a fool. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. Dylan Dennis is just looking for people to talk about him. Anyone who says Khabib is boring doesn't like MMA is his chicken sandwich. Elisa says Conor is the real GOAT, the motivated Conor, that is. Oh, making fun of you saying that when Conor's motivated, he's good.
Motivated Conor beats everyone.
My foot was a balloon, says Nizam.
My foot was a balloon.
Uncle Champ says you are correct, the mystical one. Tio Ganochi says it's time guys, dragon time guys, he says.
At 6,000 we will unleash the dragons.
Uncle Marker, UFC needs to put him #1 pound for pound. Uncle Pale, Conor is the real coat, you mean? UFC should just dump JBJ, says Roberto Lopez. And Ann says, JBH, do you have the story what DC said about Khabib and Justin? I have a story DC said about Khabib and Justin.
We got plenty of time tonight, guys and gals. We're going to get all your comments in. We're going to take phone calls, many stories, and discuss this card. It feels weird, though, right, Jess? No Eagle.
Yeah, it's going to be weird going on, like, especially for me, doing the show and, like, whenever the lightweight division comes up as a topic, no longer having Khabib, like, in the conversation. You know? That's what's going to be weird to me. Because every time we talk about the lightweight division, Khabib is always mentioned, no matter what.
He is. Let me make this clear. Before we get to that whole pound for pound thing, the GOAT, all that shit, everyone loves talking about that BS. But let's be honest, it is BS. There's no real GOAT. Pretty much everyone's right. You know, everyone has good arguments for who the GOAT is. But when you talk about the 155-pound weight class, when you talk about the lightweights, there is only one GOAT for that weight class. I think there's zero argument here that Khabib Nurmagomedov is the guy. It's not even close. Even though he didn't defend as many times as some of these other champions and whatever, when you talk about lightweight, you know, he's the GOAT. The problem is, how many times did he defend? He defended 4 times, right? Is that what it was, Jess? Right? 4 times, some shit like that? Let's see. He beat Al to get the belt. You got Conor, Dustin. No, 3 times. Wait. Conor, Dustin,
Gaethje.
and Gaethje. Wait, what?
Al, Conor,
He only
Dustin,
defended 3
Gaethje.
times.
4 times, Moss.
Al wasn't
Conor,
a defense.
Dustin Gaethje.
Al, he won. And that is kind of weird how he won the belt. Listen, I could make arguments about other things. I'm not going to trash, you know, I'm not going to tarnish his resume.
Still for the belt.
3 defenses. Now, hear me out with this. Right now, Khabib Nurmagomedov is the GOAT. There is no question. But it's so simple to beat Khabib right now when you talk about only 3 title defenses.
I would not I wouldn't take how many times he's defended his title as a factor.
It's going to come into play,
whether
though.
or not he's beatable.
If there is someone that snatches that belt, defends 4 times,
That's ridiculous.
people are going to start making some arguments here.
That's ridiculous. If you're gonna factor in how many times someone defended a belt to determine whether or not they're a beatable fighter, I find that completely illogical.
Khabib is very
a million
dominant.
other factors for why a fighter is unbeatable, not how many times he defended his title.
But with lack of evidence, think about this. And I'm playing devil's advocate over here.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
With lack of evidence, and evidence I mean holding on to the belt and dominating in that manner. Now, he did do it 3 times against 3 worthy opponents.
Yes.
1 was a former champ, 2 were interim champs.
Yeah.
Okay? Which, I mean, listen, the whole interim champ thing, it's kind of bullshit. But these are top guys in the division.
I mean, yeah.
The lack of activity, I see Jumanji Warlord. People are going to be talking about it. It was many moons between fights. He does hold the record for winning streak, right? Doesn't he have the biggest actual UFC winning streak? Or it's tied with Tony Ferguson, I think. He left before he could even hold on to that record by himself. There are a lot of things that you could look at Khabib. He's only 32 years old, leaving the game. If you want to be known as the GOAT or, you know, the pound for pound guy, the argument's going to be tough, because I'm telling you, in 10 years, there's going to be a new guy that we're going to be talking about at lightweight, and people are going to forget about Khabib.
I don't think people will forget about Khabib as a former champion. Like when people talk about fighters that they loved or that they watched and stuff like that, nobody will ever forget about Khabib. But I do agree that it's difficult. I don't know.
We will. Listen, look at
the
Anderson
thing.
Silva. How many people are pushing aside what Anderson Silva has done? Because he had a couple of shitty fights.
A lot of people use the whole steroid thing on Anderson Silva, and
It's
that's
valid.
why Khabib never had those issues. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to look at. You also have to look at who the following is. The Russian following seems to be much bigger than Anderson Silva's Brazilian following.
Could you imagine this? Now, I'm going to throw this out there, and I know it's going to piss off some people. Say Conor wins the belt, right? Now he's the 155-pound champion. Say Conor defends 4 times. Say if that happens. Everyone has ripped on Conor because he hasn't defended a belt. But say, I'm not saying he's going to do this. I'm just hypothetically speaking here. If Conor defends the belt 4 times, he would be the double champ from 145 and 155. He would have defended the belt 4 times. no steroid use, people would look at Conor as the GOAT over Khabib.
People already do look at Conor as the GOAT simply because of the type of personality he portrayed as a fighter. I mean, look at you. You're extremely caught up on the guy.
No, but I'm hypothetically speaking here. Do not take what I'm saying.
Hypothetically, he would be. Yes, he would be interpreted as the GOAT.
That's how easy it is to forget about Khabib, is what I'm saying.
I don't
and
think
this
people
is
will
the
ever
problem.
Forget, though.
This is what sucks about Khabib retiring at 32 years old. If he were to stay as the 155 champ, and I'm not saying he should, I think it would be a G move by Khabib to say he is honoring his mother and his father, and he is stopping the fight game. He's riding off into the sunset.
That's what he's doing.
He's going to help these younger fighters out. I think that's incredibly honorable. But what I'm saying now is this. We are going to forget the greatness of Khabib because it's so simple to replace it with
that's one thing I don't agree with.
3 defenses.
I don't agree with it. Listen, is there a high possibility that a fighter is going to come along in the lightweight division and defend many more times than Khabib ever did? Absolutely. I mean, this sport is still growing. It's still in its infant stages if you really think about it. So, yes, there is a 100% chance that a fighter will come along in the lightweight division and defend more than Khabib did. But will we forget about Khabib and what he's done in his career?
No, we won't forget.
No,
but what we will forget
is
we will not put him in the discussion of pound for pound great. And it's a shame. It is an absolute shame because Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Like if you go to MMA Twitter, there's a lot of people who would disagree with you.
Fuck MMA Twitter. Fuck those MMA Twitter. I'm talking about a real human being, right?
They are real human beings, Chris.
No, they're not. They're trolling.
No, Chris. They're still going on there and they're stating their opinions about how they feel about Khabib as a pound for pound GOAT. And there are people who think that he doesn't belong in the pound for pound position.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
But there's a lot who think he does.
Do you remember a man named Daniel Cormier?
Yes.
Okay. Daniel Cormier,
still in the
pound for pound, was up there when he won both belts, right? Everyone was talking about Daniel Cormier, this and that. Is anyone talking about Daniel Cormier anymore? No, they're talking about him as the announcer. People are forgetting already that Daniel Cormier was a G.
Daniel Cormier still stayed in the scene, even if he's just an announcer. So it's not like people forgot about him. They just see him now as moving on to something else. Like that's why they don't care. If Khabib stayed in the scene and did something else, I'm sure the same thing would happen. But Khabib's actually leaving. Like, he's gone.
Listen, I admire...
All you have is what he did in his career.
I admire your passion. But what I don't admire is your logical thinking right now. Being realistic, in 10 years, mark my words, in 10 years, there is going to be another person at 155, the lightweight division.
I said you were right about that.
That everyone's going to think of as the greatest.
I said that's 100%. There is a 100% chance. But I don't think that when that happens, people are just going to forget who Khabib was.
No, I'm not. I am not saying forget who he is.
Forget about Khabib in the GOAT discussions.
He won't be in the discussion. And it's a shame. And that's why I'm saying this is bittersweet. The bitter part is if Khabib Nurmagomedov could have rattled off at least 2 more years, I mean, he would have solidified. He would have put his foot down, stamped that 155-pound weight class, and he could have stamped the pound-for-pound GOAT, the greatest of all time, just getting better. I respect the man for leaving at the top of the game. I respect the man for how he presented himself. He had one glitch in the Matrix where he fucking went nuts. One time, and you could make an argument that he was right in that situation. All right?
Did GSP? How many times did GSP defend?
GSP defended many more. But the problem is GSP lost to Matt Serra, and everyone fucking throws that up. How many defenses?
Well, how many defenses did he have?
Well, Anderson Silva. I mean, look at Anderson Silva.
No, I'm
still holds
the
record.
I'm saying how many defenses
Actually, Mighty Mouse holds
did
the record.
GSP have?
All right. Title. The chat will probably get to it before me. GSP has 9. 9 successful title defenses.
All right. Forget that point then.
Matt Serra, the GOAT. Yeah, 9. 9
I'm
successful.
trying to think of another champ that has had 4 or less title defenses that we have not forgotten about.
I hate to break it to you. When you put Khabib in this situation, when you have the Jon Joneses and GSPs and you have Anderson Silvas. Now, the only thing you got going for you is a steroid thing. And it's a good argument. But the problem is people are going to forget. People are going to forget about the whole steroid thing, and they're going to look at numbers, and they're going to be like, holy shit, look what Anderson Silva did. Look what Mighty Mouse did. When you talk about a dominating, when I think dominating in your weight class, right? Khabib is very dominating, but there's limited evidence. When you look at Mighty Mouse, I mean, the fucking guy was unstoppable.
I see people in the chat, and stop spamming, Justin. I see people in the chat saying Cejudo. But are you considering Cejudo as a GOAT?
No.
This is
we're
talking about people who. Just so you know.
It's all right. We're good. It's just a glitch. No big deal.
All right. Anyways, we're discussing 4 or less title defenses for someone that you can still keep in mind as a pound-for-pound GOAT. And Henry Cejudo, you can't really argue that he's a pound-for-pound GOAT.
Get the fuck out of here with the Henry Cejudo thing. The guy did great things, but he's not in the conversation right now. He's out of the conversation. When you're talking GOATs, you're talking GSP, you're talking Anderson Silva, you're talking Jon Jones, who is still active.
And I'm talking about number 1 pound-for-pound, not in the pound-for-pound list. Number 1 pound-for-pound. And Cejudo does not belong there.
Why do you keep bringing Cejudo up?
Because they keep saying Cejudo had less than 4 title defenses.
Yeah, why you even... Yeah, whoever's bringing up Cejudo is just straight up trolling.
Justin says, how is it not...
Well, why... This is child talk. This is
It's not
crazy.
child talk. There's another one. Who else just said it?
Oh, my God. For 3 people, there's 190 people watching. 3
Roberto
people say
Lopez.
Cejudo.
My point is
they're not trolls.
there are people who are considering that. And that's not what I'm trying to... imply. I'm asking for 4 or less title defenses that you would consider pound-for-pound.
Jose Aldo. When he won the 145-pound belt, he was the only guy for how many moons, how many years? How many Jose Aldo defenses did he have? Let's see.
You would put Aldo as the number 1 pound-for-pound?
No, but I'm saying when you're looking at
irrelevant.
When you're talking about this, he kind of shot himself in the foot. You know, when you think about that.
7. Oh no, it's a 7th streak.
No, it was his fight streak. Defenses. How many times did Aldo defend? Anyone know the number of Aldo's defenses? Of course, it doesn't pop up over here. But the guy was the original OG 145er and held the belt. Listen, I don't think Aldo is the GOAT.
Stop.
But here's the thing. And this is, I think this is a pretty good conversation to open up with the phone lines too in a little bit. It kind of sucks. It gives me that feeling when I was a kid, I was a fan of the Lions running back. Oh my God, what the fuck? I'm drawing a complete blank. Help me out. The Lions running back, Barry Sanders. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, Barry Sanders was to me like the GOAT running back. You know, this guy was the greatest, right? He wasn't a title guy or anything like that. He didn't win championships. But the guy he left the game at his peak. He left the game as a complete stud. And it's like, I feel like, God, if this guy could have kept going, this guy would have been something special. You know, the numbers that came from this man. And when I see a guy like Khabib, he's won the title, he's defended the title, and he's done some amazing things. But seeing him walk away, the reason why I was a little emotional, there was 2 reasons. Of course, the father thing. I mean, if that didn't tug on your heartstrings on Saturday night, I mean, I'm a cold man. I watched that Saturday Night Live, and I felt it, man. I felt it in my chest. I felt it in my fucking eyeballs. It was getting a little wet over here. Even my dad, who doesn't even like Khabib, my dad was getting emotional. He said, I mean, you could feel that, you know, that was an intense moment. It was a special moment. It's one that's going to be replayed a million times. But there was another part of me that was upset that I feel robbed. At 32 years of age, I feel like this man is going to be forgotten when we talk about the greats. I really do feel that, and it sucks.
I don't feel that.
Well,
I do not feel that.
We agree to disagree.
Wonderful.
Uncle Garbage.
Okay, let's get to the real story here. Kobe's new face tattoo. Just when you think the guy couldn't be any more of a fucking douchebag, he goes and proves everyone wrong. Unfucking believable. Moss, please thank Khabib for allowing Conor to have the belt again.
I gotta say this, I am excited because we get more Conor now. And this is very exciting. And I think Drunk is excited too, because he's been talking about Conor a lot. Every other word that's coming out of his mouth is Conor. This is amazing. I'm down to talk some more Conor, and we're going to be doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Roberts Jr., Jesse. Is a member, baby! Yeah!
Wonderful.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that.
Wonderful.
You can't replace 29-0. Not even close. Plus his fan base is huge. You can forget the Kobys and Masvidal but not the GSP or Khabibs.
I agree with that 100%. And honestly, like I get where you're coming from with like the title defenses and shit like that. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. I don't think this guy's going to be forgotten when you're talking about
how
greatest.
quick can you replace him at the 155 GOAT if you have a guy that defends the belt 4 times at that weight class, which, I mean, it's not impossible. It can happen.
I didn't say it was impossible. I said that there's like 100% chance with the way that this sport is going that someone will jump into that position and defend much longer than 4 times.
It's just now undefeated at 29-0 is very impressive. And how many of those were UFC fights? Were it 13? How many fights in the UFC? Jesse, any help?
You got it right there, Moss. Just look.
Well, you're the super Khabib fan. Jesus. Guess not. All right. What am I? The fuck? The hell am I looking at here?
They don't have it on the
Elite Fight League. The fuck? What's up, Tapology? What you be doing? Yeah, 16 were in Russia. This is Mr. Sonosi. So 16 in Russia. Here we go. So started in the UFC 2012. And I mean, look at the gaps too. That's another thing too. You know, the activity wasn't really there too. Imagine if he was more active.
About 3 times in 2013.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 UFC fights. Impressive, man. 14 fights in a row. All wins in the UFC. I mean, that is incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. GSP has a pretty big streak too. You know, GSP's got a lot of green over there as well. The unblemished is a nice touch. You know, a very nice touch to Khabib's resume. The fact that he has defended the belt multiple times is, 3 times is still, listen, I'm downplaying it now, but 3 times is still impressive. It just, my fear is you get a guy in there, he starts winning a couple of championships, and if he gets that 4 defenses, 5 defenses, 6 defenses, people are going to forget about Khabib. He's not even going to be in the conversation. So that's the thing that sucks. But shout out to Khabib, fantastic career. What a story. Should make a movie about this man. You know, it's a fascinating story. And now he's going to be training the youngsters, the young bucks coming up in AKA. It's exciting. All right, Jesse. I don't know, man. I feel this depressed vibe coming from you.
I'm just not feeling well. That's all. Yeah.
Mommy issues?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Pregnancy.
I was hoping that you were depressed about Khabib.
I am upset. I am, for sure. But, yeah, you're not going to get, like, super jumping out of the seat, Jesse, tonight. I really don't feel good at all.
Damn it. Goddamn pregnancy. Goddamn. Well, wait until the baby gets here. It's gonna get even worse. But we're wonderful.
Wonderful.
Kenshiro feels empty inside. See? He feels empty. All right, what do you think in the chat, man? Like, Khabib being gone, like, where does that leave you guys? Where is that feeling? What's going on here? What are your thoughts about the future of the 155-pound weight class?
Valid Rowdy says, because Conor is conqueror, not a defender. D. Brown, mother blessing, please come in. David says, you can't call Khabib the GOAT when Jon Jones has more title defenses. But this is where that tricky situation of Jon Jones having done steroids and getting himself into all that kind of trouble kind of plays in. Let's hope Kamzat is a real deal, says Uncle Gavage. Khabib not time, says Kevin from Chicago. Niall Flanagan, Khabib is still a real boss. F says it sucks Tony was robbed by Conor. Less defenses than canceled fights with Tony.
Wonderful.
Jesse, you may be very correct on not buying the whole title defense thing. Ronda defended 6 times. That's more than any other woman figure, and she's not considered the GOAT.
Yeah, well, Ronda came in her competition. People criticize her competition, right? Women's MMA was just starting, so who were they really throwing at Ronda? That's the argument people have. What Ronda did was amazing, though.
But, yeah.
Wonderful.
Did you forget about GSP? Khabib is a bigger star globally than GSP. Not even The Undertaker in fake WWE is undefeated, lol.
But here's the thing.
He does have. I mean, people saying that Khabib has no following is crazy.
But everybody talks about GSP still, and that's why, like, that's not really a valid argument.
Hold that thought, Chess.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Benson Henderson, Anthony Pettis, Frankie Edgar, Rafael Dos Anjos, Eddie Alvarez, and the Leprechaun. The real question is, where does Khabib rank among these 55 champions? Also in a one-night tournament format of these guys who wins Woobo Baloo Bop.
That's Bulls coming in. I mean, listen.
Henderson, Anthony Pettis, Frankie Edgar, RDA, and Eddie Alvarez.
I mean, it's not even close. Well, where's what's his name? Why am I? What's going on? I feel like we're underwater right now, and my brain is not processing things. BJ Penn. Jesus Christ, I can't. Names aren't coming out. BJ Penn.
But BJ Penn also got himself into trouble.
Oh, come on. The trouble was when he was completely his brain was fried. I mean, Eddie Alvarez. Come on, let's settle down. Anthony Pettis was a G. I don't know what the fuck happened to that dude. I mean, he still got something. Frankie Edgar is a boss. I mean, look what he's doing at 135. Dos Anjos is he was tough, but Khabib beat him. I don't know, man. There's not even a question. And Conor was the 145 guy. I do feel this. If Conor kept on fucking killing, like, Conor to 145 was what Khabib was doing to himself at 155. Like, Khabib was literally killing himself to get to 155.
Khabib was
no, but my point is, if Conor was kept killing himself, you know, to get to 145, the dude never would have fucking lost. The dude would have ran everyone over there.
I think at some point it would have worn on Conor. I think
of course
Khabib handled it better than Conor would have, in my opinion.
But Khabib, think about it. He was in the hospital. The fucking dude, it was big gaps between fights.
But he knew where he had to be successful. And I don't think Conor is the kind of fighter who will take a fight with anyone. Like, he wasn't the kind of fighter who's like, I need to put myself in a division permanently and
You're
stay
missing
there.
what I'm saying. I am saying this. I am saying if Khabib did it smart, he was able to kill himself each and every weight cut to make sure he hit that 155. And look at his resume. Unblemished. If Conor did that to his body and destroyed himself and fucking went to 145 and did it over and over and over again, no one would have beat him. No one would have beat him over there. But Conor got greedy. He wanted to go to 155, win that belt. He wanted to do things at 170. He got all that crazy money, and you know he did what he had to do. That his goals were different than Khabib's goals. Khabib had that legacy, and he wanted to be the 155-pound guy. You know, Khabib did it right. He did it right. He did it with class, and I got to give Khabib the respect that he deserves. It just, that respect's not going to last very long because
I think it'll
honestly,
last longer than you think.
Okay. Well, you got to timestamp this. We got to timestamp this moment, and in 10 years, go back to it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
16 fights were in Russia Moss. Here one fact I will say, Khabib in the stacked division. So in 10 years if it's still very stacked, yes, very impressive. Also champs with less defenses we forget, Dom Cruz and every heavyweight pretty much.
That's something that we didn't really,
Wonderful, wonderful.
We're just catching up here.
BJ Penn in his prime is still the best lightweight champ in my opinion. He even fought GSP, Matt Hughes and Machida in his prime. He took chances against bigger guys Khabib never did.
I kind of want to go back to Senosi's donation real quick. We didn't even really think about, like, there are phases to every division, and each division goes through a certain period of time where the roster is not stacked, and it's kind of just like a lull division, and it's just there to exist, right? So we never even considered, what if down the road in the future of the lightweight division, it does become a lulled division, and it's not as stacked and hyped as it is right now? Then do you I mean, that's an easy way to remember Khabib, because Khabib was the champ during a very stacked division.
Well,
that's a good point.
Okay. He beat Ally Quinta to get the belt. Is Ally Quinta, I mean, listen, the guy's tough as nails. He's a great guy. But let's talk about Ally Quinta. Short notice Al, who went to decision with him, and I felt Khabib was toying with him. I mean, we're talking levels to this, and Khabib was just
Yeah.
Way ahead. Okay.
In a stacked division.
Conor was the 145-pound champ. And honestly, Khabib is just a bigger, stronger guy than, right? You got Dustin Poirier, who is a 145er as well. Very good 155er. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, is he legit fighting like dominating 150, like legit 155ers? You know what I'm saying? And then you look at Justin Gaethje, who has an impressive resume, has some great fights. I mean, there's no boring Justin Gaethje fight. But is Justin Gaethje on that level of Khabib? Like, is Justin Gaethje right there? I don't know.
No, he is not. Not right now. But he can be. And this is kind of goes back to your original point that someone will end up taking the lightweight championship and holding it for more than 4 defenses. I don't know if it's going to be Gaethje, but Gaethje definitely can put himself up at that level. But even if he did, you would still remember Khabib.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Chrome is a clown. BJ Penn has more losers than wins now. Why would Khabib go to 170 if his friend Usman is champ? Dumbass logic.
Okay, so look at this. Here's BJ Penn. Okay. He does have some losses sprinkled in the beginning of his career. But if you look at this, right?
And Khabib is undefeated. All
right, he started over here. We got UFC in 2001. I mean, the guy's been around forever, but look at all the green. Right? And then he fought guys like Gracie. He had Matt Hughes multiple times. You got Matt Sarah on here. You got notable names. Now, GSP just never really worked out. But, I mean, you look at the people that he's beaten, right? And it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Now, as time passed, you start to see this. Maybe you hung in there. It's a little bit too long, Mr. Penn. But the guy had some start. You can't knock the guy for his start. I mean, the guy was
yeah, I wouldn't put BJ Penn in this.
But the problem is, Jesse, like you're talking 2004, and a lot of the MMA fans now, including myself, weren't really as active into the UFC as we are now. And you can't dismiss the Gracie. Dwayne Ludwig.
Khabib is undefeated.
What's that?
Khabib is undefeated.
But, I mean, okay, how many fights in the UFC did Khabib have? 14?
14.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Wait, some of these are not UFC, Moss.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. Good call. So he started in the UFC here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. What happened with this one over here?
Takanori Gomi and Matt Hughes
as well.
were UFC. Dwayne Ludwig was not UFC.
And then you had, so 9. Then he went over to K1. Okay. K1 for God's sakes.
9. Before he started losing more.
Yeah. Then he lost a couple when he came back. Rattled off 3 in a row. Runs into the GOAT GSP. I mean, listen. Okay. This is a difficult conversation.
It's really not.
Yeah, it is because listen, I would go Khabib over BJ Penn. Yes, I'm with you on that. The problem is though, and I mean this is a big problem right here. Is the end of his fucking run was absolutely insane. But you would have to give it to Khabib for sure. I'm with you on that. You got to give it to Nurmagomedov for sure. But longevity, like that's the thing. Khabib, maybe he got out at the right time. I don't know.
I really hate that we're just looking at how long he was in the UFC or how long he defended a title. Like, I don't know. I understand that it may be a contributing factor for a lot of people, but I don't know. I feel like there's just so much more.
So 155, I don't think it's really an argument. Like you can when you talk about guys at 155, you got to throw BJ Penn in the mix. But Khabib is the guy. He is the 155-pound GOAT. There is not a question in my mind. Now, when you're talking pound-for-pound overall GOAT, he's not. I'm just going to put it out there. He is not. He's not.
So let me ask
GSP
you a question.
And Jones and Silva.
So you think
and
that
even Mighty
Jon
Mouse.
Jones getting the leverage through using PEDs, right? And I understand that you want to just
I put Mighty Mouse over him.
I understand you want to nix PEDs from the equation, but let's say that we didn't. And Jon Jones did get his boost in his recovery time and things like that, all from the PEDs he was using before he got busted multiple times. I mean, imagine he wasn't using those things and he didn't have all of those advantages. He probably wouldn't be a GOAT, Moss.
Okay. So you want to put him aside? Who do you pick? Mighty Mouse?
Him aside, seeing as how Khabib Nurmagomedov is right below him, you could make an argument.
Question. Khabib or Mighty Mouse?
Listen, of course Mighty Mouse makes more sense. He has more title defenses. The guy is he's a freaking star in fighting. How many losses does this guy have?
Dominic Cruz, Henry Cejudo.
So, yeah, listen.
And Dominic Cruz and Brad Pickett,
and he
too.
has way more fights in the UFC.
Dominic Cruz was another weight class. Khabib never did that. You know? That never happened.
I understand the argument, but I would still say Khabib is he's there.
Khabib 155 GOAT, not even a question.
Pound for pound GOAT. If Jon Jones was out of the equation because of PEDs, then I would say Khabib.
Wonderful.
BJ Penn won the welterweight title after winning the lightweight title.
Yeah, but the problem is there is too much red. You know, it's impressive. He was what he did at that time was amazing, of course, but I got to go
off
Khabib.
BJ Penn, bro.
Yeah, I got to go Khabib.
It's not a good argument.
And honestly, if Khabib did have a big set of balls and went up to welterweight, I think he could have grabbed that belt too, if he really wanted to. But I think his father told him to stay in his lane, stay at 155. Probably smart move, you know. He dominates over there.
His dad knew exactly what he needed. And honestly, the fact that people kill him for staying at 155 and not moving around, like I will never understand it. The guy knew where he excelled. He had a great career because he knew exactly where he excelled, and he stayed there.
So when you're talking 155, it's not a question. Khabib is the guy. And the reason why I'm bringing up Mighty Mouse and the Jon Joneses and the Anderson Silva and GSP is because now when you're talking pound for pound, there's a problem. Khabib just doesn't have enough on the table to really even put him in that. It just sucks because he could be the guy. Khabib could be that guy. It's just not enough there. And the problem with the 3 title defenses is he could, in the near future, he could even lose the 155-pound GOAT thing. And then think about, where does Khabib stand? You know, he would be a legend of the sport, but that pound-for-pound thing is all out the window.
I don't know.
That's the problem that I'm having over it. All right, let's get into the first story. Let's celebrate Khabib, though, for God's sakes. I mean, we can't be down. This is becoming a bummer.
All right, so Khabib's head coach reveals the injuries and sickness that Khabib faced during UFC 254's training camp. You were discussing this a little earlier, Moss.
It's crazy, man.
His coach Mendez says this was the worst camp we've ever had in the sense of preparation. Accommodations were the best ever. Hospitality was the best ever, but we had so much bad luck. There was staph infection with a lot of guys and the mumps. Khabib had the mumps 2 weeks going into training camp, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so concerned. I trained 1 week really light, and then the following week he broke his toe next to his pinky toe. Because of the broken toe, we were again out. Mendez admits between the illness and the injury that he was rather concerned about Nurmagomedov's ability to not only fight, but to perform at the same level that allowed him to stay perfect throughout his entire career.
Well, I got to say.
Wonderful.
What happened? You froze?
Yep, I froze. Hold on.
It's crazy, man, with this guy. You wouldn't even know he was injured. Just tape it up. Let's go. It's just crazy how the crazier the fight got, Khabib's like, come on, hit me. And just drove right through him. Like, to see what he did to Justin Gaethje is it's unbelievable, man. He made Justin Gaethje look like a complete can.
Yes. Super chat.
Whoa, we got a double. Thank you, Niall. Appreciate that. And Chrome.
Khabib married a towel. That alone disqualifies him as the GOAT.
What do you think about that, Jess?
Chrome, I feel like you're just looking for shock value, and you're...
You know, Chrome is strategic, though. He waits for 272 to be here. He's like, there's probably some Russians in that audience. Let's let that one fly now. Just like the Harris one. He's strategic about his donations. Thank you, Chrome. Yeah, come on.
So,
Khabib is a...
He broke his toe. He got the mumps. There was a staph infection. Lots of things to make this training camp the most difficult one he's ever had.
Man, oh man. When he in Embedded, when he called DC over and says, come to my room, this and that, I was wondering if he was going to tell DC about him retiring, and he didn't. He never said anything to Cormier about retiring.
So, fun fact, he didn't say anything to his own coach.
Really?
Yep. Javier Mendez says that he didn't know Khabib Nurmagomedov was going to retire at UFC 254.
Do you think that this was more of a... Do you think because how the fight went down and his emotions afterwards, Do you think he made that decision on the spot? Like it all came to him? Like, do you think it was in the back of his head, but he wasn't sure if he was going to do it, but he was so emotional after that fight that he just knew it was the right thing to do?
I think Khabib knew exactly what he was going to do this whole time. Remember, he talked to his mom about this. This was his last fight. He knew this the whole time. I don't think he told anybody because he didn't want to risk it getting out. That's what I think. And very smart to do so because in the MMA community, things get leaked so quick. But according to this, Javier Mendez says he played the best poker face on the planet. I didn't want to get him sad because I never really got to talk to him about his father, about how he felt because it was past, and I figured that's in the past. I'm not bringing any of that up. So all of this was a total shock to me. I'm listening to him going, oh man, father's plan, great, but mother's plan works in the end. My mind was going, is he going to hold it together? Yes. Then I was going doubtful. I'm going, uh-oh. Then I'm going, yes, no, he's on. So his mind changed a lot. And then he said he was teeter-tottering. And he says, am I going to get him the way I need him? I say yes. And then at the very end, I felt very confident. As a coach, you notice your fighters' antics and what they do and don't do. But I understood why. I'm like, what the hell are people talking about? He was right on point when it came to his weight cut. Saying there's no way something went wrong. And then I watched the weigh-in and the guys were doing the scale thing. Those guys were Speedy Gonzalez. What the hell were they doing? That was so damn quick the way they did that. I would think something's up myself personally. So he defended him for the weigh-in, saying that he was exactly on point when he came out. But he had no idea what Khabib's intentions were throughout the entire training camp. He knew that Khabib was off, but he thought it was just because of his dad.
Wow. Or he was still injured. I mean.
Yeah, he got sick. He got staph. He got injured. His dad died. He was about to retire and not tell anybody.
It's kind of, man, it's a fascinating thing here. We have to all make a pact here as an MMA community. We have to make a pact that no matter what happens, if someone comes in there at 155 and just blazes to that belt, defends that belt 4 times, we got to make a pact that we're not going to turn our back on Khabib, man. Like, I hope, like, the next generation doesn't, like, I mean, we witnessed something pretty special if you really think about it. His swag, his confidence, he was something else.
You could tell just as a fan, though, that, like, he was very off. Like, didn't smile once, and like, even in the embeddeds and stuff, like, you didn't see any emotion out of the guy.
Valerati says Khabib killed his father. You think that's what happened?
All right.
He murdered him?
That's a little fucked up.
All right. I just had to ask that since I saw it in the chat. You never know. That would be a plot twist, right? Yeah. Man, it's never been cut. I mean, really, if you think about it, he loses 2 rounds, but out of that whole career, it's fucking nuts, man. 14 fights in the UFC and you only lose 2 rounds. Never scratched, never knocked down. That's
It's weird.
Bonkers. It really is bonkers. You can say, well, you know, maybe he didn't have the best. You know, maybe his opponents weren't top. I don't know what the fuck kind of excuse you want to make.
I'm not going to make any excuses.
He fought for 2 former champions. He fought a guy, 2 interim champions. Say what you will. The guy did what he did. And the whole Tony Ferguson thing, like, I know you guys wanted to see that fight. I wanted to see it at one point. After it fell through the last time, I was done. I was so done with that. And then Justin Gaethje just he put it to sleep when he just dominated Tony. It's going to be interesting to see what Tony Ferguson does and how he bounces back. I have to believe he's going to be a little bit better bouncing back. But what if this is it for Tony? What if we've seen his best days? Man, it's crazy, man, what Khabib has done. And not knocked down, not cut is just it's something tough to wrap your head around. I mean, that has to be in the discussion when you're talking about, down the road, the 155-pound greatest. It's crazy that Khabib absolutely dominated the guy that dominated Tony Ferguson. Right, Joseph? I mean, listen, I know a lot of people don't want MMA math, but here's the thing. I have a feeling when the doors lock in the octagon, right? The door locks in the octagon, and you're standing across the cage and you see Khabib Nurmagomedov. I have to feel that you're overwhelmed by who Khabib is. A guy that recklessly comes forward, all puffed up, chin ready to be hit, but doesn't give a fuck. Lead leg, chop it down. Who care? He doesn't care. He will drive right through you and put you on your ass. No one solved the puzzle. It's got to be crazy. And that's what happened with Justin. Got into a firefight. Justin looked good for a second. Couple of minutes. He had his moments for sure. But to crack him with everything you got, and Khabib keeps coming forward, and you knew Justin lost when he was just ducking his head and just looping hooks. Like Justin just completely went back to his bad habits and was just, woo! Here I come! Telegraph City!
I think he got extremely overwhelmed.
He did.
And I think he anticipated what kind of pressure to expect, but I don't think he was ready for it.
Nope. Psychologically, I mean, and how about this? I mean, Conor McGregor could not penetrate his brain. People thought that Conor McGregor can get into his head. He did everything he possibly could. Blue lips, the whole thing. Tried to get into Khabib. Khabib did not even budge. One of the most mentally strong fighters we've ever seen. It's kind of wild, man, what Khabib has done. You know, it really is wild. Unfortunately, when you look at numbers, you know, people are going to forget the, you know, he's never been knocked down. Oh, you know, he's never been cut. Like, people are going to forget things like that. They're just going to look, hey, how many title defenses? You know? That's what they're going to say. Oh, well, this guy fought this many times and that guy fought that many times. You know, that's what people are going to say down the road. But Justin Gaethje got dominated. Completely dominated. He got submitted in the second round. He was exhausted. And to see Khabib's emotions run wild at the end of that fight, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Next fight on the card was Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier. And how about Bobby Knuckles, man?
So I have a story. Cannonier, Whittaker broke Cannonier's arm with a kick early on in the fight.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about with my pop. I was like, someone broke their arm, and I couldn't remember who it was. It was Jared. Yeah, Cannonier looked like trash, man. Whittaker this felt like vintage Bobby, man. Robert Whittaker goes in there, and he dominated. It was great. It was great fun to watch. And I want to see him fight Izzy again. I don't care what anyone says. Now, the question is, Jared Cannonier, who is, 36 years old. You know, hey, he's pushing 40 now. Is this a big step back for Jared?
I don't think it's a big step back, but it's certainly not going to help him progress forward.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine this, Jesse? And I'm just saying imagine. I know you're a big Israel Adesanya fan, but could you imagine he runs it back with Robert Whittaker? Robert Whittaker's head is a little bit more focused, tries to be a little bit more intelligent in his fight, and beats Izzy. Reclaims his belt.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Could you imagine, Jesse, if that happens?
Robert
Why
Whittaker,
is that so impossible?
Because I've said this a million times.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Why would Khabib go to WW? Usman and Khabib are close friends. If anyone trains MMA knows it's an evolving sport. Khabib would beat anyone from the past because they use those skills to build on.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I feel that it wouldn't even be because they're friends. I'm sure
No.
there is an honor there, but I don't think that it's because of that. I think Khabib knew he excelled at 155. And if he went any higher, then he puts himself at a little more of a risk. I'm not saying he would lose every fight at welterweight, but he would certainly make himself more vulnerable.
I mean, Khabib and Gaethje are friends. They're managed by the same guys too, and he fought him.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with it being his friend.
Khabib didn't go to welterweight because of the risk. Let's be serious. That's why he didn't do it. I think Khabib could win a welterweight title. I really do. I think Khabib is that good. But he didn't go because these guys are bigger, they're stronger, and he's a wrestler. It makes him
more vulnerable.
Yeah, so I think, stay at the weight class that works.
I've got a smartphone and I need a time machine.
Oh my God! Speaking of goats, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
you can't
Pat.
touch me, you're not man enough. I eat your asshole alive, you bitch. Fuck you, you hoe. Come and say to my face, fuck you, ass for everybody. You bitch. Come on, you bitch. You scared coward. You're not man enough to fuck with me. You can't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch. Look at you scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white pussy. Scared of the real man. I'll fuck you till you love me.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is for you, TJ the Twarker. We're gonna throw down and find out who's the true trailer park goat. Fook your Ford and fook your beef jerky, son. Let's go.
Whoa.
Let me bang BRO. Oh, and congrats on the new job, Uncle Nicole.
Woo.
God, I need a spliff or two.
Congratulations, Nicole.
Congrats. Wow.
Awesome.
Got in the time machine for that one, Jesse.
Yeah.
Got a couple of donations here. Thank you, guys and gals.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You know why Khabib was so dominant over Gaethje? It's because Justin brought his dad. Khabib saw that and said, "You dare bring father? I smash you." Gaethje missed out on a great troll by walking out with his father. Give him a nice big hug before fight.
Oh, man, Jesse. Oh, man.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Usman and Khabib promise they won't fight each other, it's public. Besides Usman, Khabib runs through anyone in WW.DC, was Colby's captain and said Khabib beats him easy.
Okay. All right, listen.
So, by the way, the father thing, Khabib said that he didn't want to hurt Gaethje in front of his parents, so that's why he choked him instead of went for the armbar. So, something to keep in mind for those of you guys who had that weird theory about Justin Gaethje using his parents. It definitely didn't bother Khabib at all.
No, it fueled him. He loved it. The Usman thing here, you never say never. If Khabib was still active in defending that belt, you got Ali Abdelaziz as their manager, okay? Ali Abdelaziz would have put that fight together in a heartbeat. But the reason why it didn't happen is Khabib's done. That's it. You know, he's done. He's had enough. He wanted to fight GSP because GSP is, you know, George St. Pierre, for God's sakes. But I don't think it's because they're friends, man. I don't see that. Khabib and Usman, they're acquaintances that have the same management. You got DC is Khabib's friend. But you got a mutual, you know, manager that would totally put that fight together. And Justin is probably just as close with Usman, with Khabib as Usman is. So Usman's a problem. I still think he's the best welterweight. Usman is a legit problem. That is a strong man when he gets you down.
Do you get excited for Usman fights?
No. He does what he has to do to win.
He's not exciting. Both his fighting style and his personality. Honestly, Usman is a grinder, but so is Khabib. And I find Khabib far more exciting than Usman.
Well, you know what makes Khabib more exciting? One, he's finishing people, especially with his belt.
And he's never been finished. He's never lost a fight.
And he's a likable guy.
And he's likable. Yeah.
Usman's not.
And he's humble. Usman is like I don't know. There's something arrogant about him that I just don't like.
Put aside your feelings for not liking Usman. Talk about his dominating. I mean,
yeah, he's a good fighter, but even his fighting style can be boring. Khabib is entertaining at least.
Well, Khabib, there was a period where Khabib wasn't as entertaining. He hit his stride now. This man is on another level. He is on a legit another level. This guy he just got better and better and better. He's just finishing guys quicker with that belt. It's just, I feel empty now that this has been yanked from us. You know, it sucks that we don't have Khabib anymore because I really do feel we could have seen a lot of special things. I don't know if he beats Usman, though. I want to say yes, but man, you guys, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how people shit on Usman, man. Like, I understand you don't like the guy. I get that. But just, the dude he's tough, man. I think he could be the best 170. I hate to say it, but I think he could. But fuck Usman, man. We got UFC 254. Robert Whittaker looking bootyful. Alexander Volkov getting the win over Mr. Harris. And oh my God, Walt Harris. The 2 in a row. I'm off the Walt train. That's it. Phil Hawes gets the win over Malkoon. You have Murphy getting the win over Shakarova. Ankalaev getting the win over Ian Kudalaba. And watch this guy, Kudilaba, excuse me. Watch this guy, Magomed Ankalaev. 14-1. He's a problem. Another Russian problem right over here. This guy is scary. He made it look easy against Kudilaba.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Very scary individual.
Khabib is a bigger champ outside the cage than inside. That's why people love him. And yes, it's public. Usman said he will never fight Khabib. Look it up.
Okay. How many times has Usman said something and done something else? How many times has any fighter done something and does something else? Just because he says it doesn't mean that's his manager calls the shots.
It doesn't matter anymore. Khabib's
His
retired.
manager is the guy who fucking takes care of his fucking Twitter, for God's sakes.
Okay,
You think,
but Khabib is retired, so why is this even an argument?
yeah, I know. I don't even know why I'm entertaining this. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it. It's kind of like, it's kind of a silly argument. Tuivasa destroys Struve. Crazy, man. Tuivasa just punched a hole into him. Casey Kenny gets the unanimous decision over Wood, and they might have got that one wrong. Submission, guillotine, choke. And by the way, how about the judges? Judges were horrific.
Yeah.
The judges
But
were so fucking bad in this card.
They've been bad for the last couple cards.
I said this before the Khabib fight. I said Khabib's got to finish Justin because they might give Justin a win. And what happens? What the fuck happens? The first round they gave to Justin Gaethje. The first round. Justin almost got submitted at the end of the round.
I think what they were looking at is Justin, even though Khabib threw more, Justin landed more significant strikes.
Justin landed more, yes. All right, let's look at the strikes. Khabib almost finished them.
It was 26-29 in the first round.
Okay, so hold on a second. It's crazy, man. Like, when I saw the cards, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But it's not surprising. UFC 254, the two decisions that happened, you want to be like, what? Huh? Huh? Let's go over here. Gaethje Khabib. Yeah, the strikes in the first round are pretty close. Okay. Here we go. Total strikes is 26-29, 26-29.
Not first round.
I don't think it has by round, though.
But he
I don't
did
think.
land more.
Strikes by position. Yeah, I mean, more were landed by Gaethje. I mean, it wasn't like a landslide. It's pretty fucking close. But, I mean, the first freaking round. The first round. Gaethje almost got submitted. And they gave the round to Gaethje. And it was a close fight the first round. The problem is Khabib was eating his leg kicks and he was moving forward. So I understand Justin landed some nice, significant strikes. Didn't fucking phase Khabib one bit. And then Khabib almost finishes him at the end of the round. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. It's crazy with the judge. Could you imagine if Gaethje found a way to keep it on the feet, right? Khabib kept on coming forward. But Gaethje was landing more. Could you imagine Gaethje won by a decision and took his belt?
Because
of shitty
would
judging?
Not happen. No.
Why wouldn't it happen? He lost the first round.
That would not happen.
Man, it would have. Thank God he finished him. You got to finish your opponent these days, or you never know. Anyway, okay, so that was UFC 254.
I've still got a lot to talk about on this card.
Yeah, give it to me.
All right. 1 second. Okay, so talking about GSP, you know how you said how some people were saying that Khabib would come back for GSP. GSP says he would never dare ask Khabib to not retire, saying that's a disrespect to his family. So according to Anton Tabuena of Bloody Elbow, GSP called Khabib's performance against Gaethje as masterful and as close as you can get to a perfect fight. Like many spectators, though, the former two-division champ says Khabib's retirement came as a surprise after hearing all the chatter about a possible super fight between them. GSP told ESPN, "That's what I thought at first, that the Khabib fight was going to happen because of the media, but people have informed me. But it did not happen. I'm good where I am."
Wonderful, wonderful.
Here comes Uncle Mark.
This is for the coont that is watching who caused the main site to be temporarily shut down. Go fuck yourself, coont. That is all. No,
Don't
wait.
refresh.
Go fuck yourself again. Okay, that is all.
That is watching who...
Oh, I think he means the main channel. Yeah, main channel.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Uncle.
Oof,
Yeah,
scary.
that guy's just a...
We
he's
don't
just
give him the time
He's
of
a
day.
bum. Yeah, honestly, the reason why we don't mention his name is we don't want to make him famous. And that's why.
All right. So
Almost
GSP
300,000 views. UFC 254 on our second channel. Can't be stopped.
GSP basically says everyone in the media said he wanted to go 30-0, but that's his choice. He left an incredible legacy, one of the best to have ever done it, maybe the best. He did say that he's good where he is, and he has no interest in calling Khabib out after the way he retired.
Yeah.
So you can forget about Khabib GSP.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Just help me out here.
I'm not going to pat you on the back, but you can take the $3, I bet you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I mean, that was easy. Come on. That was easy. That was easy work, man. GSP, you knew they weren't going to fight. It sucks, man. I would have liked to see that 170. That'd be fun. But 155, never happening.
Yeah.
All right. What is this over here?
Conor McGregor reacts to Khabib's retirement. It was actually a really nice comment that he made. Like when Khabib retired, we kind of discussed this a little bit. He said good performance. But then he followed that up with, I will carry on. Respect and condolences on your father again, also to you and your family. Yours sincerely, the McGregors. So very heartfelt. It was actually kind of nice to see him, be humble with Khabib's retirement. But he did say he will carry on, Moss. So you know what that means. He's looking for the lightweight title.
Oh, you know it. Now, I hope this, and this is a conversation that we could probably lead into the phone calls because I see people crying in the chat. But
shut the fuck up. You guys are getting 2 extra hours for the next 3 weeks.
Uncle Sanosi's one of them. But we will get to the calls. Don't worry, guys. Jeez. Sheesh, man. Yeah, so Conor McGregor, he's going to come back and he's going to try to swipe this belt. I am hoping that this doesn't happen, though. I'm really hoping that Conor doesn't swoop in, grab the belt, and retire. Because that would suck. No, thank you, Conor. If you're going to come back and try to grab that belt, I want you to sit there, defend it a couple of times. Give me something here. Defend the fucking belt. So I don't have to hear from people, he never defended the belt. He didn't defend the belt. He didn't defend the belt.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's fucking stupid. So I want Conor to come back, win this belt, and defend the damn thing. This way everyone's not like, oh, McChicken, McNuggets didn't defend the belt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shut everyone up. Jesus Christ. Everyone keeps on bringing up he never defended the belt. Could you imagine if this man defended the belt? Then what the fuck are they going to say? So, Conor.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of the show. Come back. Take what's yours. Double champ. Get the gold back. Defend the belt. Be active for you. I mean, what are you, 30? He's like 32 too, right? What is he, 31?
I don't know how old he is.
Conor's in his early 30s.
I think he will defend this time, though. I think he will. He
doesn't
said,
have to 'cause
I
he's got
will
money,
carry
but-
on, not I will grab the belt and stop.
He better fucking come back and win that belt and defend the belt because that's that. Now, you have a lot of players here. It's very interesting. Without Khabib, it starts to get a little spicy here because now the playing field is more leveled. Khabib was up here and everyone else was dancing around here. Now you got a more level playing field. You got a depreciated Tony Ferguson. You got fucking Michael Chandler, who knows what we're going to see from him coming from Bellator. The guy is tough, real tough, and he would be a tough opponent for Conor. You have Dustin Poirier, who looks a lot better at 155. Conor beat him already, but 155 could be a different story.
Can I borrow your phone real quick?
Sure.
Wonderful,
Certainly.
wonderful.
You've 254 broke records. Official number will come out tomorrow, but it did almost 3 million buys. Khabib is a bigger draw than Conor.
We'll see when the numbers come out. 3 million buys. I'm gonna go on a whim and say that is absolutely wrong. There's no way. 3 million. Now Khabib is a huge draw, a huge draw because Justin Gaethje is not bringing that number. Khabib is big. We got some nice numbers. I'm sure the UFC got some nice, but 3 million. You smoking some good stuff, and I need to have that good. There is no way. In fact, it doesn't beat the Conor Khabib numbers. What was that? 2.4. Let me see. I should leave this over here because I keep going back to it. UFC pay-per-view buys. Let's see. What do you think, Jess? Do you think he will hit the 3 mil?
Khabib or Conor? I'm sorry.
No, they're saying that this. I mean, I can't. And here's another thing, guys. It was during the day in the U.S. Think about how many people didn't buy it because of that.
Oh, this pay-per-view or something?
Yeah. If it was at night, you might have a shot.
Probably not 3 mil. No.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, that because Mayweather McGregor was that was freaking nuts.
Let's take guesses. You want to take a guess?
This isn't a Mayweather McGregor fight.
What do you think? Let's see. Khabib. Let's see. What was his highest one by himself? Was it Dustin?
It hasn't come out yet. The numbers.
Oh wait, Dustin was hidden, right? Why are the Dustin numbers? That's kind of bizarre, by the way. Everyone's saying 1 million or some shit like that. Why are the Khabib Dustin numbers nowhere to be found? Why is that under the table? You think? You don't even think it was 1 million, right? Or they say 900,000. Or is that you saying for this one? Or
On
Khabib
Reddit, they're saying it could break 2 million pay-per-view buys.
It could break 2 million. Yeah, that's speculation. But during the day, I don't think it does. I'm going to go under 2 million. That's what I'm going to say. I think that's pretty.
I say it could hit 2 million.
But how during the day? I mean, you got people from all over the world, but other places don't pay for the pay-per-views. So how during a day?
You have to remember the type of... I think you forget the audience that Khabib brings. They also had a huge dynamic of fighters from different countries, especially Russia, and from that coast. So I think you're trying to look at one secluded area. And,
it's under 2 million. What do you say it is?
I just said I think it's gonna hit 2 million.
No way.
You just cut me off.
No way. You really do?
Yeah.
You want to put the $3 back on the line?
Okay.
Okay. What do you think in the chat? And then we'll open up the phone lines.
$3 back.
You have a chance to get it back. Let's see what they say.
MMA Music says Tony Ferguson reaction to Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. God, don't want to see Khabib versus Tony Ferguson because Tony Ferguson is evil and Khabib. Listen, you're not gonna see Tony versus Khabib. Khabib's done, guys. He's done. Uncle Mike says 2.2. Ganosi says 1.5. Between 2 and 2.5 says Gavage. 1.5 Justin. Sean Hart 1.6. The rest 10 million. Uncle Gavage says open gifts. We don't have any gifts today. We did get a high chair. It's a little too heavy to bring up here. So
yeah, who got the high chair? That's fucking wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful,
whoever got the
wonderful.
high chair, thank you so much.
We'll put a picture on
Wonderful.
the website, the MMA-HOLES.com for sure.
TMZ is getting sources. It's saying around 2.5 or 2.6 mil buys. That still beats 229.
I'm telling you, it's gonna hit 2 mil.
I don't know, man. 2.5? Then the numbers aren't right. There's no way. They're fudge. Because where is Poirier versus Khabib's numbers? Why do these Abu Dhabi fights, all of a sudden the numbers are like vanishing and like, oh, it's speculation, that's this and that. It's a little strange, no? 2.5 seems ridiculous. Maybe. I don't know. That seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying under 2.
High chair gets too high. Yeah, I don't know who sent it, but that was awesome. So thank you, whoever did. Should have gotten a package from me. We have 2 packages waiting at the post office, but we haven't picked them up yet. But nothing here. Joe Rogan must use loops for his gay ass. He did not like Khabib's wins either. Okay. I said the Russians would buy the pay-per-view and not steal it because of Khabib. Says D-Rest. They have good hash. LOL. Says Uncle Mike. Justin says no way it broke 229. Mahar says you are good. Don't be hating on Khabib.
We're not hating on him.
I don't know where everyone gets this idea. Like, if we're talking about Khabib, we're hating on him.
Well, you got to remember.
First of all, I'm like the biggest freaking Khabib fan out there. So we can talk about him without hating on him.
I think it's the language thing. Honestly, I think
weird.
I'm having a feeling it's probably people from other countries that, maybe there's a little bit of a barrier with the language here. And maybe people jumping in now and say, oh my God, they're bashing the numbers. They hate Khabib. We don't hate Khabib, okay? Especially her. She doesn't hate Khabib.
Freaking love the guy.
But we're going to criticize in certain ways. Like, if there are things negatives, so we're going to talk about some negatives, And it's not even like Khabib really has any negatives. We're just bringing up the pluses and minuses. We discuss it and we move on. So I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. We could just be licking everyone's ass.
Nicole, I did open some gifts on Friday. Go back to the Friday show. Maybe there was a couple gifts that I know we didn't get a tag. We didn't know who they were from. So maybe that was yours.
Look, Jessie's such a big fan. She's got the towel around her body, not even around her face. She has it on her body.
Inappropriate moss.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
We're going to take some phone calls. You ready? Hit me with the ones in the chat if you're ready for phone calls. We got plenty more news. We have an hour and 45 fucking minutes. An hour and food. I would love to take a lot of phone calls tonight. I really would love to take a lot of calls. Quick, to the point, get some new blood, old blood.
10-minute phone calls, motherfuckers.
Yeah, not like, hey, how's your day going and shit like that. Let's get to the point and fucking get some good calls in tonight. So let's make history tonight here on the MMA Holes. Break record for calls. Don't be scared. Call on in. Let us know what you think about the UFC 254, the pound-for-pound GOAT, 155 GOAT, Khabib retiring, all that fun stuff. We'll be right back.
MMA-HOLES. What's your name and what's on your mind?
What's up, Jesse and Chris? It's Drunk Savage.
No way!
Drunk Savage. What's up, Jesse and Chris? It's Drunk Savage.
I can't believe you're calling right now. Drunk Savage, what's on your mind?
Not much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I have a respect for everybody in the chat.
MMA-HOLES.
Vlad's one of them. Kevin from Chicago. AMH, I mean the knitter.
I'm just enjoying this.
I can hear you.
Hi, this is Billy.
It's Stanley too. We have Sean Hart.
Hey there, what? What's up, man?
What's up, Pulse?
Oh, it's Justin Jr.
Fuck you, Cole.
Hernandez.
So Kainoda.
Lord.
RX.
Bro, Heavy Biker Road, Indy Russ, Sean Man, Vigo, Big Bob, Basically Dragon White, Nick C, Vigo Southern Country Down, Shannon Stewart, Bro Helio, Ben Simmons, VC 2.0, Peter Phillies,
Jeremiah. Hey, Lee W. Michelangelo. MMA-HOLES. Man, what a wonderful, wonderful community.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, I feel it. I feel good. I feel sexy. I feel swole. He said later slap this. All
I
right.
like biting your shoulder.
I know. I had to go to the bathroom and wipe your face off my shoulder, too.
What?
Nah, that's all right. I still love you, Jesse. You're the best.
I spit on you.
Yeah.
All righty. Khabib Nurmagomedov has retired undefeated 29-0. Did it for his pops. Retired for his mom. And we're going to discuss it. We want to know your thoughts on Khabib. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that a man that's 32 years old and has been as dominating as he has is gone. It's a big hit. It sucks for us too. I mean, guy brought us a lot of freaking views. But Khabib Nurmagomedov, all gone.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, Malcolm.
In the UK, Youth 254 was huge. In the UK, we don't even watch MMA. But this PPV was big and everyone was watching.
What do you think about that?
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna hit that 2 million.
Maybe. It's possible. But in the UK, isn't it on like BT Sports or some shit?
Wonderful, wonderful.
I don't know how that works, but
Were there any real donos of me? I can't wait for real Justin to call in and give his opinions on 5 fighters and how bad his internet connection is. Yeah, no, I'm going to call in and tell you my reason why Khabib never got to do an interview with him.
Okay.
thank you, D Godfather. Let me just before we take the phone calls, let's have a little fun here. Hold on a second.
This guy's been trolling the whole time.
Yeah, I know. Let's give him the attention that he surely seeks. Jesse, what does it say over here?
It's surprising Americans think people from all around the world cannot speak fucking English.
Can you read this with like a British accent or something like that, like a shitty British accent, or I don't know, give me some like real shitty accent, because I have a feeling
they
he's
do
like,
not even know geography. I bet you they do not even know capital of most of their own states.
Look at how this guy writes, by the way. Proper English going on over here. Ew, I can't put a capital T in a space after a period. I am too lazy to put spaces in my comments over here. Let me sip on my tea and choke on my crumpets. Is that it? Is that all? What is up with this guy, James? What is up with you?
He just wants your attention, Moss, and you're giving it to him.
I like giving my children attention. An hour and 19 minutes this man has spent trying to get our attention.
And you gave it to him.
It is amazing. Well, I made him wait. There you go, buddy. Screenshot this. Make this your wallpaper on your phone. All right. Thank you. 516-522-0267. Every once in a while, we publicly humiliate a member of the community. Well, he's not really a member. Just a big fan. Phone number. Boop. Right over there. All right. Call the show. Let's talk, people.
516-522-0267.
It's crazy, man. He gives people from all over the world a bad name, man.
All right. 832, you're live with the MMA-HOLES. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Pulse. Pulse calling in from space.
Oh, can you hear me?
There we go. Gotcha.
Okay. I'm going to play fair because I know everybody wants to call in, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet like a gay midget. The reason people will never forget Khabib, just look at Justin. He's like 10 years old, and he knows about all these old school fighters, Gary Goodrich and such.
Mm-hmm.
I think Khabib has done enough at this point. He'll be remembered for years.
All right. There you go. Remember.
Later.
All right. Thank you, Poles. Poles says he'll be remembered
I
for
fucking
years.
love that guy.
You know, I don't think he's going to be forgotten. That's not what I'm saying here. I feel that his GOAT status at 155 is an easy one to overthrow. You know, like I feel like that there can be another GOAT inserted real quickly with a bunch of title defenses. You know, people are going to forget that. I don't think they'll forget Khabib as a great fighter, but yeah, he'll be pushed aside.
I don't think they'll even forget him as GOAT talk.
Okay. 516-522-0267. Yeah, I think he misunderstood what I was saying there. That's okay. I still love him.
He'll be remembered forever. True. Pulse is right. Mahar says WGO is in charge here. Uncle Pale says James wishes he was Jules Jordan. Heavy Micro fake news. No such thing as a sweet midget.
A gay midget would be short and sweet. You don't get that, Jess? Come on.
No, I was just reading.
Wonderful.
Moss. Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA holes. What's the name? What's on your mind?
Yo, John Savage.
What's up, Drunk?
Not much. Fucking Jon Jones, man. He just needs to fucking shut up and take it like a man. Fucking be humble and shit. I mean, goddamn. You know, there's more to being the fucking GOAT. Like, the number one pound-for-pound fighter than just title defenses, man. You know, Khabib, he conducted himself more the champion, more honorable and shit. And let's face it, he was more dominant in his title defenses than Jon pretty much ever was. I mean, yeah, Jon beat some notable guys, but, I mean, couldn't finish fucking Anthony Smith. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you're done with this call, we'll play the video that he put out on social media, and I'm sure that's going to get some interesting banter for sure.
Yeah, he just needs to shut the fuck up right now. I mean, maybe after his next title defense, if he does it dominantly, then yeah, okay. Then he can start saying shit. But right now, just like Khabib have his moment, man.
Yeah, it is a douchey move. I'm trying to, I was thinking about it while I was on the throne before, right? And I was saying, Jon Jones, what is he doing? It just looks cringy. We're going to play the video very shortly. Did you see this video, Jess?
Yes.
Okay. It comes across weird because, when you're a champion and you want to be known as the greatest, you don't go out there and toot your own horn the way, if you're the GOAT, how many goats toot their own horn? You know what I'm saying?
You can be confident and still be humble. And this video, Jon Jones did not portray that at all.
It almost comes across as insecurity. Maybe he's trying to overcompensate for something.
It was weird.
But I know what he's doing. Jon Jones has no fight coming up. He's supposedly going up to heavyweight. What Jon Jones is doing is he's completely trolling, and he's trying to keep himself relevant. He's trying to keep himself in the conversation right now. I don't think he truly gives a fuck about the GOAT thing, and maybe I'm wrong.
I think he cares.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but
it definitely matters.
I feel that he just wants people to talk about him. You could see it in his eyes that he's trying to just keep himself alive.
I believe there are things that he does that might be troll moves, but this, Moss, is, like Drunk just said, his ego is shining through. He's not humble in the least, and he even sounds a little triggered to me. This is not him trying to troll to get a little attention.
This is
him, straight up just showing his bad colors.
But here's the thing. We know people that know Jones, right? And these people legit love the guy.
I'm
right?
sure
Say he's one of the greatest guys. I honestly think it's an act.
I'm sure he can be such a nice guy, but everybody has their nasty side. And I honestly think that Jones got triggered by the idea that he would get booted out of the number one pound-for-pound spot and decided, okay, let's make a video and tell everyone how it is. And he came across a little too cocky. That's what I think.
All right, we'll talk about it more when I play the video. Anything else, Drunk?
Yeah, but I mean, the only way I can really argue Jon Jones being the GOAT is he did rematch his two greatest rivalries, and he beat him in dominant fashion, and he is going up another weight class heavyweight. Other than that, I don't know. Can't really make an argument for him.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's no argument. Jon Jones is the GOAT. The only argument you could make, steroids. It's a pretty good one. So if you throw steroids at me, there's really nothing I could say. There's really, yeah, he's a cheater. He is. And Khabib would have to surpass him. But then now you're taking Anderson Silva out, which kind of kills me, and you only leave GSP and Mighty Mouse.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and people you saw with Mighty Mouse, he beat mostly bums. I mean, come on. Take those guys, put them in any weight class, they get fucking murdered. I mean, who has gone up to like a bantamweight and really been successful?
Well, why do you have to go up to be successful? Yeah, but why do you have to go up in order to be a successful fighter?
Jon Jones stayed at light heavy the whole time.
Khabib didn't.
That's the only weight class they can do anything in.
Listen, I think if Khabib sat there at 155 and kept defending, people are going to have the same fucking argument. They're going to say, who did Khabib beat in this and that?
There's higher level fighters there. I mean,
he's beating smaller guys, right? Yeah, I mean, Mighty Mouse was smaller than.
Wait, who's there?
Mighty Mouse. Everyone that Mighty Mouse was fighting, he was smaller than. I mean,
yeah, true, but still, they weren't that great fighters other than like Cejudo.
So Khabib used his size. Benavidez. Yeah, but Khabib used his size and dominated, and he was smart. I'm not criticizing Khabib for this, but what I'm saying is Mighty Mouse was an undersized little fucking flyweight who was just destroying people, like just dominating people. And you could say his competition wasn't as high level as a Jon Jones, but Jon Jones did cheat.
Yeah, I mean Cejudo or Mighty Mouse, he did get his ass kicked by Dominic Cruz at a fucking bantamweight. It wasn't until he went down to 125 where he dominated fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
mean, look at old fights at 135. He wasn't that dominant as he was at 125.
He wasn't. Hold on. Repeat that.
He wasn't as dominant as a fighter at 135.
No, I mean he wisely moved down. The guy was like a dwarf. He shouldn't have been fighting.
But this goes back to fighters. It doesn't matter. Like they know where they excel, and I don't think that should be like something that you use to identify who a GOAT is, whether or not they changed around divisions. I think it should be, it doesn't matter if they stayed at the same division or not. They knew where they excelled, and it's how well did they do at that division.
It's kind of weird because, yeah, Mighty Mouse, was he fighting a bunch of champions? Besides Henry Cejudo, who, took his belt. I mean, there was no, champions before him. Or maybe Mighty Mouse was just so fucking good that there was no chance anyone could be a champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mighty Mouse was just a G at 125, and that was that. Honestly, when you look at, pound for pound GOATs, I don't even think it's a question because Khabib just didn't fight long enough for me to have enough evidence to say, okay, Khabib could have been the GOAT, but he left. Yeah. We can't assume.
He didn't stick around longer, but he did beat some of the top guys.
He did. A great career. You can't tarnish anything that he's done in the octagon. Undefeated, unblemished, dominating as a champion. But the problem is there is not enough evidence. There's not enough proof. We can't just assume that. Here's my problem with GOAT status. To just assume that they would do this if they kept fighting, that doesn't mean you're the GOAT. You have to do it. And what Khabib did, he did great. He was undefeated, but he stopped prematurely, and it's going to hurt him as an overall pound for pound.
Yeah, but it's going to be a while before anyone comes close to taking that spot, I think.
Yeah, well, 155, yeah, you got to get the belt, then you got to defend the belt, you got to stay active, and yeah, it will take a little bit.
Yeah, and I disagree with what you're saying about people forgetting about him. I get what you're saying, but we're still talking about GSP to this day.
I'm with you.
Come on.
I'm with you.
Yes, here's the thing. We're not going to, I'm trying to reword this so people understand. We're not going to forget about Khabib as a fighter. The guy's an unbeaten champion. Of course, everyone's going to be still talking about him. The problem is when someone has a longer winning streak at 155, he's going to be pushed aside real quick.
Yeah, people will be like, what would have happened if Khabib and him had fought?
Yeah. And
that's going to be the talk.
Yeah, everyone's going to be debating and arguing. And how do you argue when you don't have the actual physical evidence? You can't just assume. It's like when a fight is stopped and said, well, he could have knocked him out if he didn't stop the fight. But the fight was stopped, so there's no more evidence that he could have done anything else. And that's where we are with Khabib.
Can we just talk about how RX is coming into the chat as Rachel Ostovich?
Well, how do you know what happened?
No, it's not RX. That's Jack, little bitch boy.
Jack?
That sounds so much like RX. It's not even funny.
Wow, what does he say?
No, it's Jack, little bitch boy.
The way he's typing, everything he's saying is something RX would say. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm too busy talking about this other shit. All right. But listen, I get it, man. I get all the sides with defending Khabib with, it's just, the guy's a legend. He really is. I mean, let's be honest. The guy is super dominating, 29-0, class act, real likable guy. It's a great story.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a movie someday.
That'd be great. But who plays Khabib?
Shia LaBeouf to play him.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. How do you do it, right? I mean, you got a Russian. Do you do like the cheesy Russian accent? Like, who do you do? Like, how would you cast, Jess?
I don't know.
It's a beep. Shia LaBeouf is jacked now. You see this kid? The guy's working out now. He's a little head case, but he's working out. Maybe he could do it. Shia LaBeouf. Kevin Hart. Put him in whiteface.
There you go.
Oh, man. Oh, Kevin Hart could do the Mighty Mouse story.
Fucking Mark Kerr.
What's that?
If The Rock can play Mark Kerr.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah. When is that coming out?
Next year, I think. COVID pushed it back.
Talk about left field. The Rock playing Mark Kerr. That's super bizarre.
All right, why we're talking about movies now? Like, what's going on over here?
Mark Kerr, this is badass, man. Sorry, Jesse. All right, Jesse, why don't you go on? Hold on.
I did not say that. But we said we were going to give everyone an opportunity. I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance.
I don't know how big Khabib is in the States, but this guy is an icon in Europe, and I'm sure he is huge in Russia, Asia, and Middle East.
Khabib's huge here. Actually, but if you walk down the street and say, hey, do you know who Khabib Nurmagomedov is? Most people probably would know. MMA fans
I bet a lot of people would know.
No, like just Joe Schmo?
I bet they would know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's made enough of a name for himself.
No, if you're stuck in an elevator, right, and you say, hey, do you know Conor McGregor? They're going to know because of his antics in and out of the cage. He's a fucking wacko, right? But Khabib, if you say, hey, you know who Khabib is? Khabib Nurmagomedov. Take a look at you like you have 7 heads.
I think so. They're going to say, at least I've heard the name.
MMA fans, of course, would know, but I think Joe Schmo would know.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Drunk, what else you got?
Real quick, I'm going to steal a bit from Chrome, so everybody bow your heads and let's pray.
Okay.
Dear Lord, please bless the little child growing inside Jesse's belly and all the MMA holes. And thank you for, it's kind of fucked up. He took Khabib's dad, but some good came out of it because now Conor has a chance at the belt again, and Moss' life has meaning once more. Even though he's having a kid, he's more excited about this than anything else.
Sure.
And please send one of your angels to bitch slap Cody Garbrandt for that dumbass face tattoo. I mean, god damn, what a fucking douchebag. Sorry for cursing, Lord. Okay. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Amen.
That was beautiful, Drunk.
Oh, man.
Absolutely beautiful.
That was pretty funny.
All right. Believe slap nuts.
All right, thanks, Drunk. That's Drunk Savage. That was, man, I feel extra religious right now. All righty.
So, Cody Garber got a face tattoo.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a picture on his Instagram, though. But he got something on his hands. This guy's... No, it's his pics. He put it on... Drunk put it on Discord. But yeah, he got like a tattoo over here where his sideburns are. I can't criticize anyone for the tattoos. I mean...
All right, Moss, turn on the phone lines.
It is what it is. So hold on. Before we're going to do that, we said we are going to play this, and I think this will spark another conversation. Jon Jones puts a message out there to the people who say Khabib Nurmagomedov is the GOAT. Well, he has something to say to those fans.
I'm talking to all you Khabib fans out there. 15 world titles to your guys 4. And you guys are really talking about who's the best fighter ever? You guys are joking, right? 15-4? Are you guys kidding me?
Try the face. Do the face, Jesse, please.
Very good, Moss.
15-4? Are you guys kidding me?
15-4. You guys kidding me? This man is trolling
The only person that could possibly come back and challenge my record and what I've done in the UFC is possibly George St. Pierre. He would have to come back and win 2 championship fights to tie me. And I'm not even retired yet. I'm 33 years old. I got a whole nother chapter to go through. You guys are nuts. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys all have a great day. 15 world championships to 4. And if all you guys are going with this he's more dominant argument, the guy just recently started fighting elite level competition. Could you imagine me against the number 10th ranked guy?
Okay.
Can we just talk about how nice his house looks?
Yeah, well, I mean, guy's doing all right. Okay. So, there's one argument. Steroids. And it's a pretty good argument. With that being said, I don't give a fuck about steroids. You know?
I do.
Jon Jones is one of the most dominating people I've ever seen.
Because of the level of enhancement that he has received.
Okay. He hasn't looked great as his last 2 fights, but he still won. And win's a win. If he goes to heavyweight and smashes at heavyweight, I mean, what do you say? Then what do you say?
Ask them.
15-0, 15-4. Listen, he's trolling. I do see him trolling over here, but he does have a legitimate argument. If you put aside the steroid bullshit.
He is not trolling, man.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think he's just trying to...
He has such a huge fucking ego. And of course he was going to say something. The moment the idea even was mentioned about him getting booted off the #1 pound for pound list, of course he's going to say something, and it's not going to be nice. And my God. You just know his true colors are going to be showing. You know it.
I think, yes. I think he's competitive. I think he believes he's the GOAT. But the reason why he's making this video now...
He's nervous.
And he's stomping on Khabib's little party.
Moss.
The reason why he's doing it is he's trying to stay relevant. Trust me,
Moss,
it's the same bullshit Conor does.
This guy is straight up scared that he's going to get booted from the pound for pound list.
You don't think he's trying to stay relevant?
No, listen. Sure, this is a ploy that's going to help him stay relevant, but that is not what his intentions were going into this video. I can tell you that much.
See, I'm with Arioka saying he's trolling, but he also believes himself. Exactly.
You can believe yourself. That's fine. Good for you. This guy came across as extremely egotistical in this video, and honestly, it's not a charming look for him.
We know people
He's not
who
trolling.
knows Jon Jones. They're friends with Jon Jones.
You keep saying that, but have you met Jon Jones?
And I think, yes. Do I think he's narcissistic? Yes, I think he is narcissistic.
Yes.
There's a reason why he is where he is as a champion.
He could be a great guy to a lot of people, but still have that nasty side of him that comes out when something like this happens.
It's called competitive. And he wants to keep himself relevant. He doesn't have a fight lined up. He's in limbo.
Listen, you can believe whatever you want.
He's marketing himself.
At the end of the day, I'm sure this is going to help market him, but that was not his agenda going into the video.
All right. Let's open the phone lines. 516-522-0267. Let me know what you think. Now, listen, Jon Jones is a piece of work. I'm with you. You know, Jon Jones has made a lot of mistakes in his career. If you put aside the craziness, the guy's got some fucking record and some resume. And this wacko is pretty much the GOAT in my eyes. But, yeah, it is cringy what he's doing here. I kind of get what he's doing. Is it the approach I would do? I don't know. Maybe.
609, you're live with the MMA Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Scott.
What's up,
What up, Scott?
What's going on, guys? I'm with you, Jesse. Jon Jones has never trolled before. He's not that smart.
What do you mean by never? I mean, he's been doing it for the last 3 years.
I've never seen him as a troller. The guy, he's unlikable. He tried to play that whole squeaky clean, godly image at first, and the real Jon Jones just came out. He's a cheater. He's unlikable. And another point I heard was he threw an illegal elbow, an illegal strike. Just another blemish on the record. I don't know if you want to throw that in as a point.
What fight are you referring to? The disqualification?
I think it was Daniel Cormier said it in one of the. I don't know who was fighting it. He threw against an illegal.
The Anthony Smith fight. Yeah, it was the Anthony Smith fight.
Yeah, where Smith, if he didn't continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still continued after the illegal strike. Yeah, but I mean, fighters throw illegal strikes all the time. I mean, it's not like.
I guess what the argument was to be the pound for pound GOAT. You know, no blemishes. I know Khabib did jump over the fence, but I guess some of the arguments I heard was to be the best, no blemishes. No, you conduct yourself in and out of the cage just as well. You know, that was just another
kick
against Jon Jones.
Yeah, is he a good guy out of the cage? No, I mean, the guy's got into a lot of trouble. He was a complete knucklehead. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's not quite the role model. So I'm with you on that. And the steroid thing. I mean, I mean, listen, he's a cheater. He's clearly a cheater. So the steroid thing is a problem. If you're just talking numbers, I mean, it's not even a question.
But would he have been that dominant if he wasn't on steroids? We've seen his body change. We've seen his fighting style change. And he's been in a couple wars with DC and, his last fight with Reyes. Khabib steamrolled everybody. He lost maybe one round ever.
My problem with steroids is this. A lot of these guys were competing against other guys on steroids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying because, two wrongs don't make a right. I understand that. But in sports, a lot of people are trying to get these advantages and these edges. And I believe that the people that he competed against were also hot as well.
But does that make it any more right that he used?
Doesn't make it right. But if you can't beat him, join him.
No,
that's how I think.
But the point is regardless of whether or not his opponents were using, the fact that he used kind of knocks him off that pedestal of being the greatest.
So, but if he's smashing other guys on steroids.
Imagine he was smashing other guys on steroids and he wasn't on steroids. That would make him the greatest.
Well,
I think we could rule out that Khabib was on steroids just the way he conducts himself with his values. I would doubt he would take anything performance enhancing the way he lives.
No,
yeah,
Habib's clean. Yeah, Khabib seems like as clean as you can get it. Listen, Khabib is great. Don't get me wrong, but what we've seen is limited. If you think about it, the 3 title defenses and completely dominating. He's 29-0. I get it, but if you're talking like GOAT status, you're talking like a dominant champion for a long period of time, or someone that perhaps jumped around and did crazy stuff between weight classes and snatched belts and just done. I mean, there's a lot that goes into play. When you're talking pound for pound GOAT, I feel there's a lot of factors. And Khabib is we're stuck with just limited stats to really talk about. We're just assuming he's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looks great now, but there's not enough evidence to, like Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP, Mighty Mouse. These guys have a resume of fights that we can judge and look at the opponents and break it down. Khabib, what are we breaking down?
I'd love to see him come back for a couple of years, like you said, and even the GSP fight. That would be incredible if that could ever materialize.
Yeah, hey, if he beats GSP, even if it's an old GSP, it's still a big deal.
It's unfortunate that it's not going to happen, though. Because Khabib, I mean, he's just one of those fighters. When he's done, he's just done. There's not even a question that he's not coming back.
The thing with Khabib,
I agree. I think he held his word to his mom. I just think it's not clear cut one way or another that Jon Jones is or isn't the pound for pound. I just think there's too much gray area. But thanks for taking the call, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, man.
I completely agree with him. It's not clear cut with Jon Jones, at least.
Jon Jones, listen, active right now. Right? If Khabib is still active and Jon Jones is active, right? If he's fighting in heavyweight or whatever, he's still on the rankings, and Khabib's still on the rankings, right? Khabib is still, well, actually Wednesday we'll see if they remove him. I think they'll keep Khabib on for a little bit. But
see, but this is what I mean, and I find it fascinating that everyone's 50-50. There's not like one-sided when it comes to who belongs on the pound for pound GOAT, and I think that's why this makes this such a good argument, is because you could really throw anybody that has been great on there.
Okay. John says Silva. I see a couple of people say Anderson Silva to me is my GOAT.
PDs.
Okay. But the steroids. So now we're talking about this. Like, if we're talking active fighter, pound for pound, Jon Jones is the guy. But Anderson Silva, like, that's a guy that, I mean, what he's done.
But I think that's what Scott,
as a champion.
I think that's what Scott was getting at, though, is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was that it's not clear cut for fighters who have taken advantage of things that were not legal in the sport.
Did Khabib defend the belt in a time where people were on steroids, where steroids was rampant in the sport? No.
People were still using them.
People used them, but they weren't. It wasn't rampant. When Anderson
defending.
Silva was a champion, I mean, it was rampant. When Bones was younger, steroids was a legit thing, and Bones was just smashing people. So, I mean, listen, yeah. I mean, Jones probably was on something. Silva was probably doing some weird shit. But they were in an era where other people were on it as well.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I already gave my opinion, so I just want to hear what everybody else has to say. So, open the phone lines.
516-522-0267. This pound for pound thing is like, it's an argument that we're just going to consistently have over and over again. And Khabib's going to be pushed to the side. Unless you know the steroids thing is a big, if that's the argument, it's a valid one. He is clean. Now you're talking about other things you got to bring into play. All right, let's see what the people say on the phone lines.
Matt Stone says 12-1. Have It Slim says John been on it since the first fight. Pale Monkey, he already called in, brother. Kevin from Chicago, we heard you let the people talk. Yes, Kevin. No fucking shit. Why don't you call in instead of trolling in the chat since the phone lines are open? Mahar says, yeah, he had debut against PED Truck. Sal says 3 title defenses is a bit soft. Money and Muscle says Nizam. Glide says Pale. I gotta tell him you have raped Pico Boy. Justin Jr., what's up?
Hello.
What's up, man?
Jess?
Yeah, nothing much. Great night of fights last night.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I was chewing on a pretzel, but great night of fights last night. Khabib the Eagle, dominant, actually lost the first round. I don't know how people thought he lost the first round, but just overwhelmed him with pressure, overwhelmed Gaethje with pressure. Once Gaethje, put his hands down and was defending the takedowns, Khabib, putting the pressure on him, making Gaethje worry about the takedowns, and it allowed him to land the flying knees and everything else in there. But I also really wanted to talk about how I could have gotten my first goat milk win. I did the math after I lost, and I would have edged it out by 5 points if Sam Alvey won. I would have gotten 50 points, and he just got robbed. I checked and the 2 other people that were ahead of me. Actually, I think I got 3rd place. They both had Jung, and I would have won if they didn't rob Alvey.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
That fucking sucks, dude.
You got screwed by the judges.
And he had every reason to be upset about Alvey not getting that win. Oh, man, that fucking sucks.
Judges were atrocious on Saturday.
Yeah, well, on to the next, and I don't know how people picked Jung. Oh, I do. They saw the betting odds, and they saw the win record and the losing record. But if you actually watch tape, Jung lost the first round to Kadisky Brighamov. Brighamov, probably the worst fighter on the UFC roster. He recently got cut after he lost to Bum Marquez. Jung Da-un actually lost the first round to Cadiz, and less than 2 years later, how is he going to be an experienced vet Alvey? I thought Alvey clearly outstruck him the first 2 rounds before getting knocked down in the third, but he rocked Jung a lot in the third. I thought it was enough to give a 10-9 in the third.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Alvey won that fight. I was shocked. I really was. Alvey looked great. He really did look great in that fight, and the fact that it went the way it did, I mean, that just set the par for the night. It was just like, okay, this is how this is going to go.
Also, it was going to get him off his losing streak, and he was fighting for his contract in there tonight. He really was. And 2 close fights with 2 hype trains, this Chinese hype train and then the Span hype train. Not big hype trains, but still, hype trains, and he technically derailed them both. I also wanted to give my thoughts on this pound-for-pound situation. Man, I mean, when you look at Jon Jones and Khabib, obviously Jon Jones, way more title defenses. I do believe the title defenses is a factor. The level of opposition goes to Jon. He beat 3 eras of the light heavyweight division, the Chael Sonnens, the Belforts, the Evans, and then you've got the DCs, the Gustafsons, and then the Smiths, Santos, and Reyes. But all that is erased when you're a ped user. I know I said in the chat earlier, Jon Jones #1, but when I really look into it, I can't have #1 on my list a PED, performance-enhancing drug user. And so it really comes down to Khabib and GSP, and I'm going to have to go with GSP, double champ, more title defenses, better opposition. I mean, and he was a born fighter at times, but he found a way to win, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. If you're looking for overall pound for pound, I would have to go GSP as well. I find it weird though how people are pushing aside Mighty Mouse. I'm kind of.
Oh, it's Chris. Come on now. The Mighty Mouse. I mean, 125 pounders. That's the argument they'll use.
It's called pound for pound, though.
I use. Okay, Johnson. My top 3. He's number 3 on my count. Actually, I think number 4 I have Khabib. Number 2 GSP 1. Jones 3, and Johnson 4. I might put Johnson ahead of Jones just because the Jones PED situation, but
that's the problem. Yeah,
PED. Johnson is just level of opposition, 125 pounders, and then he's, I don't know, man. I mean, he couldn't headline a pay-per-view. They'd give him fight nights.
All right. Well, okay. You look at some of the guys that GSP has fought. The Michael Bisping fight, I mean, if you really think about it, that was his last fight. It was a lot of fun, UFC 217. But was Michael Bisping like a legit 185 like champion?
Yeah.
A good fighter? Not really. You look at GSP's career, you got guys on there. Besides, let's see. Let me see. BJ Penn and Matt Hughes. Other than that, you're looking at these other guys here. I mean, Nick Diaz, is he a champion? No. Johnny Hendricks was a fucking steroid champion who beat him.
Strikeforce champion.
Yeah, Strikeforce, but not UFC.
I believe Nick Diaz, one of the best Strikeforce champions in history, and I see Herbert in the chat. GSP lost to Hendricks. Khabib lost to Gleason Tebow. If you watch that fight, Khabib could not get any takedowns, and he got outstruck clearly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Max Holloway.
All right, Justin, man. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you.
Justin Jr. chiming in. So we're talking here now. If you take out the steroids, okay, you're unfortunately taking out my boy Anderson Silva, who's fighting Saturday, and I'm going to be very upset because I like Uriah Hall and I like Anderson Silva is the G, man. I don't give a fuck about steroids. He was something else. He was one of the reasons why I even started watching this sport. Anderson Silva was the man. We'll get to the donations in a second. I see it over there, but just give me a second on this. When you pull the steroids away, now you're taking the Jon Jones out. You're taking Anderson out. You're throwing GSP. I don't know why Mighty Mouse is getting dismissed. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I don't get it, man, because he's 125. Okay, but it's pound for pound. I think people are forgetting what pound for pound means. And Mighty Mouse, who defended about a gazillion times, completely dominated a weight class. And, they're midgets. They're this. It's pound for pound. He was an undersized fighter taking everyone out. I see Mahar saying too small. That makes no fucking sense. They're saying all bums. Mighty Mouse was just that much better than everyone else in the division. Like, think about this. It blows my fucking mind that people aren't giving. Maybe Mighty Mouse had a bunch of boring fights. He still dominated. An undersized fighter dominating at a weight class. No one can touch him.
Matt Stone says the best, though. Who dominates their division the best? And that's how you determine.
Mighty Mouse.
Now, think about all the divisions, though. Let's think about him. See, Mighty Mouse is a good one. He did dominate his division.
It's crazy.
You could argue Khabib was dominating his division, but then you have the only 4 title defenses, which makes it a little more difficult. Jon Jones dominated the light heavyweight division. Completely dominated it, including against one of the best, Daniel Cormier.
Let me throw this at you. Triple C, who's he's an Olympian. When he beat Mighty Mouse, he barely beat him. Honestly, I thought Mighty Mouse won that fight. Mighty Mouse took the foot off the gas and just trotted off elsewhere. He's like, I'm going to go fight for one. I'm going to just do this. Watch that fight back. Very fucking close. When GSP lost to Matt Serra, he lost to Matt Serra. Think about it. Just let that fucking rattle around your fucking brain. Mighty Mouse gets no respect because he's an unlikable guy. Let's be serious. The guy he's not likable. I've jumped in his chats.
He's kind of cocky.
He's full of himself.
Yeah.
He's got this bravado and shit like that.
You have to remember, with his size, he probably got made fun of a lot in school.
GSP is a likable guy. A real likable guy. But it's apples and oranges, guys. Mighty Mouse is the guy. When you're talking GSP and Mighty Mouse, it's amazing that people are just completely dismissing Mighty Mouse. You're doing it because you don't like him. You're doing it because he's fought in a weight class that you're like, well, they're small. It's pound for pound. Never forget. 516-522-0267. Now you put steroids in the mix. Push that all aside. We got a whole nother argument.
510, you're live with the MMA Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Terrell from Oakland. I just wanted to chime in on this real quick. I think that GSP is definitely the GOAT, and I don't think it's not really that close in my opinion. I mean, he fought 2 years worth of fighters. He's got double the amount of title defenses that Khabib had, and he doesn't have any PED allegations against him. Plus, the 2 losses that you were talking about, he avenged them, and he finished the 2 guys that he lost to, Matt Serra and Matt Hughes.
True.
And I know we poo-poo that he Bisping the Bisping fight, but he still finished Bisping, and Bisping was the legitimate champ because he beat Rocco for it. But I think it's GSP 1, Khabib 2, Jones 3, and Mighty Mouse 4. That's just my opinion. But thanks for letting me call in. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. All right. What do you think,
That's actually
Jess?
not a bad point. I'm trying to think of where the flaw is in what he said.
PEDs. Okay, if you put PEDs in the
He
picture.
never had PEDs against him.
No, I'm saying if you do put PEDs in the picture, like my whole logic is swayed.
He makes a good case for GSP.
I don't understand. Listen.
I
get GSP is great, and it's almost like a coin flip between the two. The fact that Mighty Mouse gets pushed so far down, though, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, listen.
It makes no sense. The guy's even still competing.
But you even said, look at who they fought, right? And GSP fought animals. Jon Jones fought animals.
But Mighty Mouse was so much better in his weight class. So much better. He was so good that there was no chance for anyone to be an animal in his weight class. There was no chance for anyone to be a champion in his weight class because he dismantled everyone.
I get where you're coming from. I'm not saying you're wrong. I do believe that Mighty Mouse belongs in the talks, but he made a really good case for GSP.
Listen, GSP is great.
But so that's what I'm saying.
Listen,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It's just my opinion.
I'm just I don't know.
Can you give
that
us
was
your
pretty
best
convincing.
Valley Girl accent?
Hold on, we got donations.
My
Glowy! Hey, Glowy, how you doing?
Really? Look at that
But.
Oh my God.
In order for MMA to be more widespread or mainstream in America, UFC or another promotion would have to advertise it or build up local events to get more people involved. The closer the proximity of something is, the more likely normies to check it out.
Good point there, Glowy. Thank
In order
you.
for it to be more widespread or mainstream in America, UFC or other promotions.
It's coming back, Glowy. Glowy showing some boobies on a Monday night. Glowy!
Hey, I can see your underwear. Put your boobies in the air, flapping like I just don't care. Can I lick your pubic hair?
Come on, baby!
Snap a picture, time to share. Choke my meat vision impaired. Filthy mind, I need a prayer. Pervert cameraman, beware. Pervert cameraman, show them tits. Pervert cameraman, $10 tip. Pervert cameraman, Yanni Celeste. Pervert cameraman, show them breasts. Boobies.
In any GOAT conversation with Jon Jones, we should remember he has been on the juice. I know it has been common for fighters to take bed, but the rules are no ped. If it was pride, different story.
Yeah. Can't argue it. I would love to, but...
Wonderful.
If Mighty Mouse wanted to chase number 1 P4P, he would move up to 135 and try to face better opposition. Andre Lee interview soon. 12-hour marathon stream team YouTube told me it's getting back up soon. Shout out to Mark Coleman, Real Gamer, Sean Hart, Alexi Lil D.
So here's what's wrong with your logic, Justin. If we were going to go with the current pound-for-pound GOAT, which is Jon Jones, who has only ever dominated a light heavyweight. It wasn't until just recently that he said he was moving up to heavyweight. And even when he said that, he was already the #1 pound-for-pound GOAT. So that logic makes no sense. If that were the case, then anyone who's ever fought at simply one division and dominated should not be considered for the pound-for-pound GOAT.
So moving up in weight class helps.
But it's not a deal breaker.
It's not a necessity, but it helps tremendously. And GSP going up there and snatching Michael Bisping's belt, right place, right time, smart move by GSP. Love it. I love what he did. I was in the building, the place was buzzing, goes up to 185 and snatches the belt, finishes Michael Bisping. It's a great move. Yes, Jon Jones moving up to heavyweight, it helps the cause. It does. It gives you a more push in that direction. But it's not a necessity. It really isn't. To me, at least, it's not a necessity. It's about dominance. It's about being clean. I mean, it is a thing, I guess, if you want to argue it. But when it comes to steroids, especially a guy like Anderson Silva, when everyone's dirty, I don't care.
But the point is,
it doesn't bother me.
Is even if your opponents are on PEDs, you are more great if you can beat your opponents while you're not on PEDs than you can if you just try to match their level and take PEDs.
Yes. Listen, it is cheating. Cheating is cheating. But to me, I feel that take steroids.
Leveling the playing field does not make you great. In fact, if anything, it makes you look weak because you have to level the playing field. If you can beat them without having to level the playing field, then you're great.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it sucks that we're swaying from the conversation that we should be having in Khabib Nurmagomedov retiring. 29-0, legendary career for sure. It sucks that he has immediately, think about tonight, Jesse, he just got pushed aside. Have you noticed the phone calls? Everyone already pushed him aside.
No, they're still talking about who the pound-for-pound GOAT should be.
He's not in the conversation.
Moss.
He's not, unfortunately. He's not.
He'll always be in my conversation.
That's good. 155 GOAT, okay. He's the guy. But when you're talking pound for pound, he has already been pushed aside. And that is because, unfortunately, he's not going to be fighting anymore. It's a shame. 516-522-0267. Khabib Nurmagomedov should be the pound for pound GOAT. He really should, but we can't just assume. Let's get some more phone calls. I think we're getting some good stuff. All different opinions. I like it. It's a wonderful, wonderful Monday night.
Wonderful, wonderful.
516-522-0267.
All right, let's jump back into the live chat. The best community on YouTube, the MMA-HOLES.
The only people who push Khabib aside are people who are salty. Niall Flanagan says Conor is the current GOAT. Eliza says Izzy is the future GOAT. Rex says Jones is a straight up fake nice guy. 250, you're live with the MMA-HOLES. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Chris and Jesse. This is Canada's favorite uncle calling in.
What's up, Two Joints?
What up?
Oh, I'm so Chris and Jesse, I'm so happy for you guys, man. I tried to call in last week, but it was one of those things. But just super major congratulations to both of you, and I'm super excited, happy for you.
Thanks, Two Joints.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You betcha.
So nice.
Am I too late to join the Khabib's retirement party? I hear Chrome's going to sing a sermon here pretty soon. Well,
never too late.
No, you do have to give the guy a little respect, right? I mean, 28-0 and on and on and on. But I mean, but onwards and upwards. Like, we can't spin our tires. We got to wait for the next champion to come along, and like all the best to him and stuff. So, but yeah. So, Chris and Jesse, have you guys done any Le Mans classes at all, like on DVD or anything? I mean, you guys both need to learn how to breathe when this kid comes out, Chris. You need to be calm.
I'm doing it right now.
Jesse needs to be focused.
Yeah, I'm practicing it as you speak. I'm actually doing it. I do it every show.
That's tremendous. You know what? I fucking looked on the wish list for like a Le Mans class on DVD or Blu-ray, but they didn't have anything like that. Like, they had Schindler's List 2 and all this other stuff, but there's just no Le Mans.
Schindler's
right?
List 2.
Yeah, what's up with Le Mans? I remember when I was a kid, it was a big thing. Do people still do that, or what's
no,
the deal?
you've got the internet.
Dude,
now.
It's named after a person that invented it many, many years ago, and I'm not even shitting you. Actually, I am, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's a great thing for parents to both be in control of their breathing, and because sometimes you just can't get to the hospital right away, so you gotta do a little breathing and save a little time, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, you've got the internet now. It's so accessible that that people probably don't.
And
really
while you're
pay
waiting for the
prices.
ambulance, just Google it. Chris can have the fucking laptop out, and you guys can Google it, bing bang, until the effeminate paramedics come in and load you guys up. I mean, I'm just so happy for you. And Ellie's a really cool name, by the way. So.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
So sweet.
You betcha. You guys, what do you guys have? 4,000 sheets now and stuff like that. You must be getting a bit of a surplus with all the gifts, eh?
We actually built another wing for all the gifts. We can't fit it all.
Well, what I was thinking was, Chris, if you guys started your company with all the extra baby stuff, call it Bed Bath Baby and Beyond.
Oh,
I mean,
look at
it's a hit, man.
We could do that. Yeah, that would
that's
work.
Tremendous.
Hell yeah.
But I can't take up. I won't take up too much of your time. But I really got to call an emergency meeting. I just seen Jay Snake murder Uncle Savage in the corner. I was busy in the grow room, and I think there's a murderer among us, man.
Oh my God, we better get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck. My comment was so bad on YouTube. I think they took it off about a half an hour after the program because I said something about, I couldn't stop laughing because all I've seen was these little mini KKK characters with LGTBO colors murdering each other, and like 20 minutes later it was just gone, like it had vanished.
Yeah,
people are
YouTube definitely removed that.
They blame us. Everyone blames us. Trust me, it's YouTube. YouTube just it sucks.
You know what? Why can't YouTube blame the player, not the game? Like, I would accept it. Like, if I got a little strike for saying something rude, I don't want you guys to ever have to pay for my stupidity. So I mean,
they just yank it. They don't even ask. They just take it off.
They don't really punish the creators anymore for that. Like for things that other people say, they'll just pull the comment off.
Kainoto was saying that he said something about Conor, and they took it off. I'm like, what the fuck did he even say? Like, what could he have possibly said that YouTube wanted to pull that thing down?
Sometimes YouTube just gets really sensitive, even if you said nothing that was bad, and they'll just yank it anyways.
Yeah, it's
you know, I'm in total agreement with you two beautiful people, but I really think YouTube is just jealous because you know what? Some of us have got content all day. Like I'm telling you, you heard Nicole crashed into a van full of nuns the other day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God bless us, man. Oh man, the van was blessed, but the one nun, she got a bit of a broken ankle, but I mean they're going to figure that out in court. And Uncle Pale's back on the marijuana, and me and marijuana would like to. We've been waiting for Pale to come back, and he's arrived. So we're deep inside of his lungs, and he's feeling us right now, and we're just really happy. I mean, we've got some really good people here in the chat, Chris. Like, I mean, even Auntie Annie. I don't know if any of you checked out her channel, but she's got these fucking wicked little 30-minute clips of like flying airplanes with fucking colors coming out of the back, and then there's one video where there's these drunken women, and then another one there's this Yorkshire Terrier taking her shit. She's just got the greatest videos ever, man. You guys got to check out Annie's channel.
We will.
I mean, she's got 14 subs, so I mean.
What in God's name are you smoking right now?
I'm sorry, Chris.
What are you smoking right now?
Chris, I'm going to be super honest with you. I've been smoking these platinum Girl Guide cookies, man. It's just the best strain ever. You know what it tastes like, Chris? It tastes like ice cream cake and the asshole of a Swedish female woman, man. It is
nice.
It's superb.
You gotta send
really,
some.
Really great.
Send it to our box immediately, please. That's good stuff. We'll enjoy it.
We're starting a family here. Like, I mean, I want you. You know, if you guys can do the CBD thing, that's great. But I don't want Ellie having anything to do with THC till she's at least 21. I've got to be a responsible uncle here, Chris. I don't want to push her in the wrong direction.
I was gonna put it in her bottle, in her breast milk. I was gonna spike it with THC.
God. You guys are just the best. So, anyways, I just thought I'd call and wish you guys the best for the baby and all that stuff. So
thank you.
And a big shout out to all the chatters, Uncle Savage, Uncle Vigo, Auntie Annie, Auntie Nicole, Uncle Nicole, all the above. So
hell yeah. Thank you.
I'm just I'm glad I could finally get in. Christ, I could have went and got a COVID test by the time I was waiting here on the phone to get in tonight.
It's not easy.
I figured I'd just stick it out.
Sure, man. Well, we appreciate talking to you. It's nice catching up.
Okay, you guys have a good night. Take care, Chris and Jesse. Bye.
2 joints from Canada. He's on fire. He had a lot to say. I mean, listen, when you're...
Yeah, but he doesn't call in often.
Yeah,
so.
when you can't get through, it's tough. He did the Kevin from Chicago fart, too, at the end. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. Thank you to 2 joints. He's wonderful, wonderful. If you haven't hit the like button, what the hell are you waiting for over here? 135 likes. I'm about 300 people watching. Let's go. Like the video, for God's sakes. Let's take some more phone calls. And thank you again to Uncle Sinosi for keeping this party going. Will we have like 3 more weeks of 3-hour Monday night shows? Or how does it work?
2 more weeks of 2 hours and 1 week of 20 minutes.
Damn. No, 3 more. No,
2 more. This is
because
one of
that
the
was the
weeks.
last one. Wow, 2 more and 2. Damn, Uncle Sinosi. God, Uncle Sanosi's a G. Thank you again. Here we go. 516-522-0267. 3 hours of sexiness tonight. Let's get the calls in. We hit 5,705 subscribers on our second channel.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Wow. That is incredibly wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And Two Joints was referencing the video game stream we did last night. Thank you to the people joining in. We're going to be doing a combination on this channel. You know, you'll see a couple of gaming streams pop up here and there until we get our main channel back. But thank you for being with us.
Wonderful.
And hanging with the boys.
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, you guys know how I feel about calling in twice per show, so I'm sorry about this, but I don't know how you guys can put this on the news when I'm about to say.
All right, say it.
Well, we've all been looking forward to the fight. I don't know about you guys. You know, it's really high stakes in the lightweight division. Take a guess.
All right, give it to me. No more
Diego Ferreira withdraws from Drew Dober.
516-522-026. We do have more MMA news to get to, but Justin was
really excited for that fight. He was so excited about it, Mom.
You hear that? Yeah, he's.
Why didn't you?
He had problems getting through it.
Why didn't you hear him out?
He was laughing through it. There's something about when he laughs, it's funnier than when other people laugh. I don't know what it is.
773. Oh, what's up, Kevin?
What's up? I'm going to talk about the fight, then I'll talk about GOAT status. As far as the fight goes, yeah, I wasn't really looking at the scoring. I was just focused on the fight. But now that I go back and think about it, you got to think, Justin was landing some big shots on Khabib. He was landing the bigger shots, I think a left hook, clean left hook. And now that they think about it, all Khabib did was go in and get that takedown in like the last 20 seconds. I don't think that's enough to sway the judges. You could say, yeah, he almost finished, but he didn't finish him.
Yeah, but
and I think
Khabib was landing, though. It's not like Khabib wasn't landing.
He wasn't landing, but Justin was landing the bigger shots. He was throwing harder. He was throwing with everything he could. He hit him with some big shots. Khabib has a chin, though, so we know that. But Khabib was more landing the shots just to get inside. They weren't big shots. That's what he does. He doesn't throw hard. He just throws these little flurries that just enough to close the distance. Justin was landing the bigger shots, so people are trying to take away that round from him and say, oh, no, wait. No, Justin won that round fair and square.
But he almost got finished. How do you win a round if you almost get finished?
He didn't almost get finished. There was, how was that, 10 seconds left?
He almost got submitted at the end of the first round.
Yeah, he got taken down. He got put in an armbar, but he held on and he didn't get finished. So that wasn't enough to sway the round.
Wait, Saved by the Bell is not almost getting finished?
There was not enough time to even close to getting finished. There wasn't enough time.
Okay. What else you got?
That's the. So you can't use that thing anymore. Conor's the only guy to win a round. Now Justin. Didn't you say Justin wouldn't win a round?
Honestly, on the poorest judging night we've seen in a long time, where every decision was wrong, I am not really worried about that round that they gave to Justin Gaethje. He almost got finished.
Let me guess. You think Nathaniel Wood beat Casey Kenny, huh?
Yes, 100%.
Are you the same guy who thinks that John Dodson was an early stoppage?
Oh, my God.
Did you think that was an early stoppage,
Hold
too?
on, we got an Angelo.
I see it. People are...
Chloe! Angelo! Michael! Angelo!
Michael! Mikey! Comedy Gold!
Watch out, here he comes with the wrench friend, heart and soul of the holes, Mrs. Steely girlfriend, time out trolls. Welcome to the dead end, cock so big that you can't even comprehend. Boston grown, making bitches moan on the timestamp throne while the chat room stoned. Hold up, save the show, for the tales will be told about Michael Angelo.
Here is my argument for the reason Khabib is not the GOAT of GOATs. I know JBH may dislike this, but Khabib cut weight, constantly sending him to the hospital a few times. In my opinion, a goat of goats wouldn't need to avoid guys his own natural weight.
No. Listen. Fucking A, man. This is why there's weight cutting. And I appreciate your donation, Chloe, but this is why it's called weight cutting. Like, weight cutting exists in fighting for this very reason, for you to put yourself at a more advantageous position. You don't fight at your walk-around weight because it would slow you down. You just don't perform as good. So it doesn't matter where he cuts to. He could cut even further than this.
But he did wind up in the hospital.
It doesn't matter.
He did have situations where he ruined cards because he couldn't fight because of the bad weight cut.
At the end of the day, it's every fighter cuts weight, whether he ended up in a hospital or not. There are cards that have been ruined for a numerous amount of reasons.
Yeah, but Jesse, if you're looking for knocks, it is a knock.
There are finishes that have been moved to no contest because of PEDs from other fighters, and you're going to say that because he went to the hospital from a bad weight cut, that makes him not GOAT worthy?
Listen,
like, that doesn't make any sense.
All right, let me put it to you this way, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, and I kind of agree. If you have tickets to a fight, okay, and you buy airfare, you got the hotel, you want to see Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, and what happens? The guy misses weight and winds up in the hospital.
How many times did he go in the hospital?
Your job
and ruin a card.
Your job
how many times?
As a fighter is to make weight.
How many times has he ended up in the hospital and ruined a card?
One. And then you got tiramisu.
One time. And Tony Ferguson Khabib has
hold on, but he missed multiple hospital once, but it's not the only weight cut that he had a problem with.
Okay. How many times has he ruined a card because of his weight cut?
Okay, here we go. Hold on. Wait for it. The Tony Ferguson tripped on the HDMI cable, right?
But the Tony Ferguson Khabib fight has been put together 5 different times and has never fell through. So
look at all these canceled fights. He's Mr. Cancel Fight over you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Were those because of weight cuts or no?
There was like 3
I just saw your face.
2.
You're trolling.
No, it's 2.
I just saw your fucking face.
2.
Yeah, you're trolling.
2 fights.
At the end of the day,
2 fights.
If you're going to use Khabib's weight cut is the reason why he messed up cards, so that makes him not GOAT worthy, then you could just say the fights that have been turned over to no contest because people got busted for PEDs.
Are you ready for this?
Not GOAT worthy.
Did Jon Jones cheat by doing steroids?
Yes, absolutely.
Did Khabib not try to cheat in order to make weight and do everything he can? And
hold on. I'll respond to that. Cutting weight is a skill, and being able to cut weight and still perform is a skill. Now, that skill goes out the window once you miss weight. Missing weight in amateur, that's frowned upon. Missing weight is one of the biggest no-nos in all of combat sports. You don't miss weight. And that is probably one of the only blemishes on Khabib's records. But no, I don't fault him for cutting weight. But missing weight is a big deal. So he did miss weight. He ended up in the hospital, I remember one time specifically. So that, you can't excuse that. Just like people are trying to excuse the steroids, it's not as big a deal as cheating with steroids, but it's still a factor. But I want to get back to this.
See, look at that.
But okay, so what I'm saying is that doesn't make it not GOAT worthy because he missed weight one time. Like, what the fuck?
Huh?
Then you're just overlooking everything else that everybody else has ever done.
No, but wait, and listen to what Kevin's saying. He makes a point.
I understand what he's saying. I understand.
Your job.
It is professionalism to make weight. I understand this.
But if you're looking for blemishes, is what I'm saying. You have a guy in Khabib that doesn't have many blemishes.
So he ended up in the hospital one time and missed weight one other time.
One time is too many.
Missed weight one other time than that. So you mean to tell me that he's automatically out of the talks for GOAT simply because
No. It's an argument.
It's
an argument. I'm not saying that's the reason.
He still put himself in a position where he knew that he was going to excel.
Kevin, on to your next point.
Justin Gaethje versus Khabib. The thing that I was surprised, I forgot how good Khabib's jiu-jitsu was. That dude, you could tell he wasn't messing around in there when it comes to, he wanted to get Justin out of there. It felt like he was playing with his food a little bit. When it comes to Quinto, Dustin Poirier, and Conor, he was roughing him up. He was beating him up. When he got on top of Justin, he was looking for the finish. Even against that triangle choke from top, from mount, that's a dangerous move. You can end up on bottom. A lot of guys don't like to do that because it's risky. So he wasn't messing around. He knew he was in there with the dog, Justin Gaethje. He went in there, got it done. But as far as the GOAT conversation, I got to talk about this because there's people who say trying to dismiss it or make excuses for it. I can't even comprehend. We're not even the same ballpark. It would be like if someone said there should be no weight classes, or let them all do steroids, or it's just we're totally on opposite sides of the spectrum. I can't even have a conversation with you trying to excuse. Who cares if you did steroids?
Yeah, but
they all did steroids.
But hold on a second. When you watched
then
Anderson Silva fight, right? When you watch Anderson Silva fight, that was an era where pretty much everyone was on steroids. So you're rooting for all these guys. Do you dismiss all those records now? Like you just
I dismiss all of them on steroids. They can all be eliminated from GOAT conversation.
So it's like you watched nothing. It's like UFC history is all out the window.
No, GSP never failed. Stipe Miocic never failed. Mighty
GSP
Mouse
Vaseline.
never failed.
GSP did cheat,
Mighty
though.
Mouse never failed.
Did GSP not cheat, though?
Khabib never failed.
Did GSP not cheat with the Vaseline?
Okay, we're talking about steroids. We're talking
Still
about
cheating.
PEDs.
It's still cheating, though.
That would be in the same ballpark as like missing weight. Rubbing a little Vaseline, that's not freaking PED use. You're comparing apples and oranges.
It doesn't give you an edge?
Comparing that to failing drug test.
They both give you an
Comparing
edge.
that and failing big drug test. You're being dishonest. You can't do that.
But if you fail drug
And-
tests in an era where everyone else is on steroids,
You
everyone
know
else is
what?
not Vaselining.
People said the same thing about TJ Dillashaw. I had him as the GOAT bantamweight. I had him as the best bantamweight because I thought he beat Dominic Cruz. But remember, he was like the bang Muay Thai guy, and Joe Rogan was all on him. And then he failed the drug test, and he's public enemy number one. He's dead to people. They don't care about him anymore, and rightfully so. You can't be a GOAT when you fail drug tests. That's the biggest no-no in sports is failing drug tests.
So who's the GOAT to you?
PEDs.
Who's the GOAT?
My GOAT list
Mighty
goes
Mouse.
GSP. You look at GSP.
Cheater.
When he beat Josh Koscheck. Josh Koscheck was a 2-time national champion, Division I, 3-time finalist. Compare that to Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje took 5th place 1 time. Josh Koscheck was a 2-time national champion. That's the level of talent is. Then he beat Jake Shields. Jake Shields, when he choked out Dan Henderson. You look at the guys Dan Henderson beat. Jake Shields choked him out, and GSP destroyed Jake Shields. There's a comparison, but GSP is definitely the GOAT. No steroid failure. The title defenses, who we beat, he's the GOAT. Now, the second guy I got to give it to, Stipe Miocic. I mean, people constantly overlook him. You look at who he's beat. Verdum. Who does Verdum beat? He beat Fedor. He beat Cain Velasquez. He beat Minotauro Nogueira. Those are 3 of the top heavyweights of all time. He knocked them out. Knocked them out in 1 round. Then he beat Arlovsky. Then he beat Alistair Overeem. He beat Junior Dos Santos. Then he beat the new guy that everyone thought he was going to lose to, Francis Ngannou. And he beat Daniel Cormier twice. Daniel Cormier, the only people he lost to was a steroid-using Jon Jones. That's the only guy he beat was a steroid user in Jon Jones. So I think Stipe Miocic is number 2. Number 3, it'd probably be Fedor Emelianenko. At number 4, I go Mighty Mouse. The only reason I say Mighty Mouse is because you can only do what's in front of you. You can only that's the guys he was fighting. Is it 125? Yeah, you may say they're a little bit weaker, but that's all to work with. He's not going to go up at 135 and fight guys twice his size. So you got to give him credit based on the title defenses.
All right.
As far as Jon Jones, crying on social media, you could tell. You know why that is? Because he knows he'll never be respected. He'll always be known as a drug cheat. And that's why he's sitting there crying for validation on social media. Oh, I'm black in America, blah, blah, blah. He knows it. He knows he'll always be known as a drug cheat. He could have 30 title defenses. It won't matter because he's a drug cheat. End of story.
All right, there we go. He made some good points. He made some ridiculous points. The Stipe Miocic was a good point. Stipe Miocic, a lot of people keep on forgetting, not only did this man beat champions, not only does this guy have the record for heavyweight title defenses, but this guy is a stud, an absolute stud. And he did it at the most difficult weight class you could possibly do it at, heavyweight. The weight class that no matter how good or bad you are, you always have that chance to knock out your opponent. We've seen the craziest things happen at heavyweight. The toughest division to hold on to a belt is heavyweight. And Stipe is pretty much on top of the heap. he's a guy that's not a bad argument. Really isn't. You got this Daniel Cormier fight. He got clipped. He got clipped in that one. Francis Ngannou did what he had to do, weathered the first round, got the win over an animal. Dos Santos, former champion. Overeem, I mean, Jesus Christ. Legend Overeem. Fabricio Verdum, steroid user champion. You know, look at the steroid guys they got here. Champions. Arlovsky champion. Mark Hunt. I mean, he lost to Dos Santos here, but I mean, look at it. Look at the run. Can't believe he lost to Stefan Struve, but that was 2012. A couple of blemishes here and there. And that's where the problem lies, though. You know, like, you have to put into play, okay, he did this at heavyweight, so that has to give him an advantage. But, you know, people don't like seeing red. They don't like to see the L. But the L discourages people. So you could put him in the conversation, but the problem is you do see a couple of L's there. But if you look at his opponents, who he fought, I mean, legit, you know, champions, legit fighters. Some legends in there. So, what do you think about Stipe being thrown in the mix?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not on it.
You're not in there, huh?
No.
You don't. You gotta take into consideration heavyweight. I understand it's pound for pound, but heavyweight's a little bit of a different story. You got that wide gap where you got like 265 guys fighting fucking 210 guys. Like, it's just nuts. The variation in weight with these guys, and Stipe has been pretty dominant for the most part. Who knows? If Stipe could rattle off a couple wins, imagine Stipe beats Jon Jones. I mean, that might solidify Stipe. That might push him. I mean, think about it. Stipe beats Jon Jones. Do you throw him in your mix then?
Yeah, I would for sure.
Yeah. Fedor, listen. What did he just throw Fedor in there? Wait, Fedor, I mean, if you're talking steroids and shit like that, now you're getting a slippery slope over here. All right, let's take some more calls. 516-522-0267. Interesting night. Always pound for pound is interesting. The problem with pound for pound conversation is no one's really right. There's no such thing as a right answer for pound. I just don't understand why Mighty Mouse doesn't get the respect he deserves. That's the only thing I just can't get. A lot of good points tonight. And a good card coming up Saturday night with Uriah Hall versus a legend, Anderson the Spider Silva.
What's up, Ann? The Knitter.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
What up, Ann?
What up?
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm wonderful. How you doing?
Wonderful, Ann. What do you think about Khabib?
That's great. I loved it. Sorry that he retired, though. Like you said, I like to see him more fights.
CBD.
Oh, hold on a second.
What? That's what it is.
We got a CBD donation. Hold on, Ann. Glowing in the dark. Glowing. Here's a goat. Nate Diaz.
Helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that.
Yeah, baby.
Get these for after fight training and make your life a better place.
Glowing in the dark.
In my opinion, a goat of goats doesn't need to cut weight for an advantage. A goat of goats could fight anyone any weight and still win. Khabib still in top 5.
Okay. Jesse disagrees, but it's a valid point. And who's your goat? Cowboy?
If you're great, you know where you excel and you capitalize on it.
I say Cowboy. That's my goat. If you're talking about, I did that on purpose. Now, if you're talking about like bouts and all that, championship. Now he has only had 13 fights, right? But 29 wins total, 30 all his whole career. I mean, that's amazing.
Sure.
I mean, even Mighty Mouse lost. You know, I still consider him a goat for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But he still lost, but he didn't have any losses. And like you said, Jones, I saw him way back when he won it, youngest, the win and all that. But like you said, he was on the stuff, enhancing drugs, but so was everybody else. And it's like, well, you're going to dismiss everybody? Like you said back then, I mean, pretty much everybody was, but you can't prove it. I consider, you said GSP cheated. I consider he cheated. Vaseline counts. And there's no proof that he never did take anything. You don't know. Maybe they never got him. Never know.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's up there too. I mean, 2 weight classes. What do you consider? Different weight classes or staying in the same weight class? Mighty Mouse did go down, whatever, throwing up fight a little bit, but he still went back to what he knew. I mean, God, Jones is up there though, but I hate it. It's like what he still have done is good is what I'm trying to say. People without that, and if you haven't noticed, when he did fight these last times, and maybe that's why he moved up, decided to. He just didn't look the same. He may have won, but he did not look the same in those last fights he did.
So what I'm
not
thinking,
even close. Older, maybe, but he just did not look the same. He's not. I don't care how much bulking he does. He just not look the same.
I see with Jon Jones. He's the type of guy that plays to his opponent. I think he started getting a little complacent. I do really believe that Jon Jones is like, hey, this is my weight class. I own this shit. I'm not saying he took these guys lightly, but I think he took his foot off the gas. Maybe didn't give him totally the respect that they deserved. I do believe that Jon, with or without the steroids, is incredibly dangerous, and he is beyond so many of these guys here. Yes, steroids is in play. You can't dismiss it. But it's just tough for me to say, okay, if this guy wasn't on steroids, he wouldn't be nearly as good as he was before. I can't see it. I have to give the guy the credit that he deserves.
I think he'd still be good. I just don't think he's still strong. I mean, but I just don't think he would be as good. I'm sorry. I mean, it's proven that stuff helps you. I mean, look at some of the Olympians. Look how strong and how good they've done, or look at Lance Anderson, strong, I mean, come on. I mean, I believe it, and he's a good fighter. I mean, I just don't know if he could have won that many times and defended. Well, I don't know. I know he's powerful. Maybe it does have him the heavier weight. I think maybe he could have been a little bit complacent, like you said, but he could have also done that. Maybe get a little nervous. It's getting a little close to those guys beating me. Maybe I should go up. He didn't want to lose his belt, fighting. Think about that.
I'm going to counter what I was saying before, and maybe I could be wrong. And with Jon Jones, okay, he would party, drink, cocaine, the whole deal before his fights and beat his opponent. Maybe the steroids helped him there because Conor McGregor would party, drink, cocaine, and could not beat his opponents, and he was clean. So maybe the steroids is what helped him party and destroy his opponents. Maybe it's, maybe I'm wrong.
It could be. And I think he's great. I mean, his weight class and that, I mean, it's just hard to say what you go by. Like 4 times, winning, but it's just the way he destroyed his opponents too. I mean, how he just like nobody could like, I mean, they gave that round, they said to Justin the one, okay, and then McGregor the other one, so that's 2 people that got a round from him.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Never knocked down, never cut.
I mean, it's just, I think he's going to be around. I personally think he's the GOAT, and Demetrius is up there too, and Jones and GSP, and
it just, I wish we could see more, man. I wish we can see, I mean, we've seen a lot, 29-0, of course, and like I said, never knocked down and cut. It's just like he would end the conversation if he had maybe, I don't know, 2 more years of fighting. He's 32 years old. If he had 2 more years and still defended up there, he doesn't have to move up in weight. Just stay there, sit on the throne and dominate. If he had that under his belt, he could literally just lock up the conversation. No one could say a goddamn thing. But this guy selfishly retires, and now we got to argue about it.
I know.
That selfish fuck.
You're for retiring. Damn you. Don't listen to your mother. No.
He's such a selfish cunt.
And honestly, I don't think he's ever going to come back out of retirement.
No.
He takes, his family, his religion, all that so seriously. He's not going to come back. He's not going to. And it's just not the same.
And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, honestly.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I wish, I think if his, like you said, if his father would still be alive and everything, probably be a different story. Maybe he would have stayed until with that 30th win or, a couple more years. But, I can see him retiring.
Yeah.
Why not retire when you're on top? No.
It's a good story.
I would.
Screw the GOAT conversation. Let's all throw this out the window. If you look, you're always going to look back at Khabib and say, wow, thank God I was around to watch that. You're always going to look back and say that. I think this GOAT conversation kind of, it's fun to talk about. We've been spending like 3 hours on this shit, and I feel like I just want to throw my head through the wall. Like, it's an argument that no one's going to win. No one's right. No one's wrong. Maybe we should just sit back and celebrate the career of Khabib instead of just constantly arguing with each other and who's the GOAT and who's not. Maybe not being in that conversation it makes us think about him in a better way, and we should just remember him for what he did and fuck the GOAT. I don't want to fuck the GOAT. Well, maybe I do.
Well, you had the little Moscow, little stuff. Anyway, that's another conversation. Remember, I had pictures of that on another show you did.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor little Moscow. Yeah, and I think I don't know, maybe if he wouldn't have, I'm not saying you shouldn't have said it at the end, saying UFC recognized, oh, there he is. There he is.
Still alive, still on the table, he's still hanging in there. The name is kind of messed up, but we'll fix it.
Also, yeah. Hey,
adorable.
Moscow.
Moscow, it's still
Baby
alive.
can chew on it next.
Yeah, you know what? It's not a bad idea. We'll wash this thing, and maybe. What do you think, Ellie's gonna play it? This will be her new toy, the Moscow.
Maybe.
Daddy's a goat, Ellie. Daddy's a goat. Pet the dad. Oh, wait, that doesn't sound right, Jesse. That
Yes.
yeah, let me stop talking about that. All right, don't pet Daddy's goat.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Stop talking.
But
All right.
maybe
And change the
maybe
subject
like you
immediately.
said, the conversation, like you said, it's just going to keep going on and on. And, maybe also what he said at the end, not that I don't blame him. UFC recognized me as the GOAT, number one GOAT. Recognized me.
Khabib, is that you? Khabib? Is that you? Jesse, Khabib is on the phone right now. Could you believe this?
Hello, Jesse. How are you? Hi, number one.
Holy shit, we've never had Khabib on the show before, Jesse. I'm so excited.
I smash my opponents. I hear you like me very much.
And
you're
fantastic. Fantastic. All right, anything else you got going on?
Nothing else. I just want to say love you guys and great show, and love the MMA holes and all the OGs and new OGs, and yeah, thanks for everybody hanging there and hanging out and this going, and
you are wonderful.
Wonderful.
You guys are wonderful.
All right, thank you, and have a fantastic night.
You too.
NH.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we should stop talking about goats. I'm sick of all this goat talk. I mean, I can argue with you guys and gals over and over again. There's no right answer.
Got to agree with my nigga Moss earlier point about Mike Mouse not getting the credit because people thinks he's fight bums when in reality, he's just so far ahead he makes them look that way. They tried to say the same about Roy Jones RR in his prime.
Yep. Listen, this is who he had to work with, I just, my problem with Mighty Mouse, if you don't want to say he's the GOAT, okay, but you got to put him in the conversation. And to dismiss him, put him 4 or 5 is insane to me. This man is a fucking legend, a dominating 125er. No one could sniff his jock. And he's undersized. An undersized 125er, just taking care of business over and over again. We've never seen anything like Mighty Mouse. Ever. We're never going to see anything like Mighty Mouse. Let me make this very clear. Khabib Nurmagomedov, most likely, we're not going to see anything like this man. Mighty Mouse. Not even most likely. We will never see anything like Mighty Mouse. In our lifetimes, we will never, ever see anything like Mighty Mouse. Will we see anything like GSP? Probably not. Probably not. Anderson Silva. Nope. Not going to see anything like Anderson. Jon Jones. I don't think we're going to see anything like Jon Jones either. Seen a lot of impressive guys that all have made their mark in the UFC. Some cheated, some this, some that, but all have made their mark. All worthy in a pound-for-pound discussion. There's no right answer. Let's celebrate Khabib, who rides off into the sunset and is wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
516-522-0267. Let's talk.
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Yo, real quick, back to what you guys were saying about champions, the close to GOAT status that only have like less than 5 title defenses, I don't know if you're just talking about UFC, but a lot of people don't realize because of all the tournaments they had in Pride that Vader only has 3 official title defenses. Then you got Chuck Liddell, he's got 3. You got Randy Couture and you got Tito. Who else?
Great, all great.
I had somebody else.
All great fighters. All made their mark in their own way. But if you notice, no one has brought up Chuck Liddell or Randy Couture. No, in this conversation tonight, besides you, Drunk, no one's brought up Randy Couture. Think about what that guy did. But how we forget. We forget very quickly. And a guy like Khabib, who is undefeated, unfortunately, he's going to be thrown to the side. We're not going to forget about the guy, but he's not going to be in these conversations. And that was the point I was trying to make before.
I think he will, but I think you weren't watching at the time. But when Chuck or Randy's rise at light heavyweight, dude, first, like, nobody saw that shit coming, dude. Beating fucking Tito and Chuck.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that shit coming.
Unfortunately, I was in the latter part. I didn't. I saw the tail end of Chuck and Randy. Randy Couture. I wish I was an MMA fan then. I wish so bad because, like, just going back and watching his fights and what he did, Randy Couture is a fucking legend, an absolute legend. But he's not thrown in these conversations. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Boss Rutan's another one. If he didn't fucking get all those injuries and shit, he would have held that belt for a very long time.
Hold on a second, Drunk. We got Gloaty. Gloaty. Oh, shit. Gloaty going crazy tonight.
Come on, get loud. MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd.
Yeah.
MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd.
We can argue about who's GOAT for an eternity, so let's raise our glasses in the air and take a shot for a departing great fighter. Peas, I agree with you, JBH, that Izzy is on track to becoming the GOAT if no ped.
As long as he doesn't fuck up, that's the thing. Like, as long as he doesn't screw up his career, he doesn't make any mistakes, he doesn't cheat, then yeah, he's on the right.
Man, you throw in Izzy in that conversation. Yeah, he's on that track. He's on that track.
Okay, someone in the chat just said, Sugar Show. Get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Fucking casual. It must be RX under a different account.
There needs to be another category as, I'm trying to think, like impact fighters. Not GOATs, but impact fighters. I would love to have that conversation, like who was the biggest impact to the sport. We could.
Yeah, because a lot of fighters have made influence in this fucking sport, and they never went too far, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Hit the ground running, just achieved greatness quick. There's a lot of fighters that you can throw together, and we can argue about that. There's a lot of. I feel like we so get stuck in these conversations of GOAT, and like there's no right answer. There's no right answer for impact fighter. There's so many conversations that we can have though, like different conversations, different categories that we should probably dive into.
Well, next time there actually is a gaming stream, maybe we should bring that up.
Yeah.
Make a list.
Maybe Sugar Show would be the impact fighter.
No.
All right.
Fuck
Anything
you,
else?
Ark.
Anything else?
All right. Yeah. I'll let you get another person in later 5 months.
All right. Brock Lesnar. Conor McGregor. Ronda Rousey. Impact. Like, I think Tito Ortiz is an impact fighter. Yeah, why argue, right? There's so many people you can throw out there. 516-522-0267.
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
I gotta talk about this Casey Kenny versus Wood because the amount of people crying robbery, and you know, I put Nathaniel Wood in that Darren Till category. He had a lot of hype. They thought he was going to be the future of English fighters. He gets knocked out by John Dodson. He gets he's an overrated English fighter, and people were saying, oh, he beat Casey Kenny. He got lit up. That first round, he was getting bombs dropped on him. He landed some leg kicks. The third round, he got outstruck. He got controlled against the fence, and people were saying, oh, it's a robbery. And then they said the same thing with the early stoppage with John Dodson. They said, oh, John Dodson, that was an early stoppage. Dude, you got dropped, and then you got face first, hammer-fisted, while John Dodson was behind you. And it was one of those things where he got hit, and he woke back up after, like, the fourth hit. People crying robbery needed to relax.
Listen, I was all aboard on Casey Kenny. I picked Kenny. I wanted him to win. I was completely biased, and I just wanted him to win that fight. He did not win. He didn't win.
He landed the bigger strikes. He was snapping Wood's head back. Nathaniel Wood was getting pieced up with the bigger shots. Nathaniel Wood was throwing some leg kicks. That's about it. And that third round with that takedown back control, that sealed the deal. That was the biggest moment of that round. And I just constantly see this crying about a robbery. Yeah,
Listen,
maybe the second round could go to Nathaniel Wood. I gave him the second round. That's about it. Other than that, he was an overrated bum. He's not a champion. He's an overrated English fighter like so many in the past. Take it easy.
All right, thank you. Listen, I severely disagree, but who gives a fuck about Wood and Kenny, right? It was a good fight for the most part. I mean, it was a good scrap between the two, but it's forgetful, man. I couldn't give two shits. If you talk to me about it in a month down the road, I'd probably completely forget about the fight. So, yeah. 516-522-0267. I mean, we haven't even really... We spoke about Whittaker earlier in the stream, but, I mean, his performance...
He's next for Izzy.
Let's go, man. Is that a story?
Yeah, but it's just... I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really anything that I have to read on it.
Run it back.
It just says Whittaker should get the next shot at Israel Adesanya after UFC 254 win.
I just want to give a shout out to Glowy, man. Thank you for the donations, Vlad, Drunk Savage, everyone that donated tonight. Thank you so much. I mean, we didn't do Save the Show, and you guys still donated.
Guys.
Really appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Oh, and hold on a second. We got some. Let me take this call.
312, you're live with the MMA holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Really appreciate it.
Hello?
Wonderful.
Hold on 1 second. 312. We got a donation.
The selfish part in me says, why are you retiring in your prime? But I get it. Feel like we're losing out on a lot of great fights. Kevin Lee's in the chat and he sees holes in Khabib's game. I'd like to see that too. I'd like to see him come back.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Selfish me would like that, but I like it. I like that he's retired. Good for him. 312, what's up?
Like, since you guys brought up Whittaker, I just want to say that, like, I definitely think he's next for Israel, but as styles make fights, I don't think Robert Whittaker will ever beat Adesanya.
Okay, and that's a fair assessment. I mean, he didn't look good the first time around.
He's gonna get knocked out.
I do want to see, though, out of curiosity, I want to see a clear-headed Robbie get in there and see what kind of game plan. Can he make it more tricky? You know, I think he could. I think it could be more competitive the second time around.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but like when I was watching that first contest, like I immediately gave it to Adesanya right away. I mean, I went back to watch. I mean, I know it was a long time ago and it was at welterweight between him and Thompson, but that karate style, it won't work with Robert coming in like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those looping punches, those kicks. I mean, Adesanya's background in kickboxing for so many years, like he's seen that type of shit already. So for me, I think Whittaker gets knocked out again.
Okay, it's fair.
Yeah, I'm with them.
All right, thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, and also Khabib's the GOAT, Cejudo's the GOAT, Mighty Mouse is the GOAT. Fuck Jon Jones.
All right, thanks. Look at that. See, he got right to the point. Like that.
To kind of poke on what you were saying, I do believe Whittaker's going to come back and have like fixes in his game. He's going to know where he messed up the first time with Adesanya, but he's not going to come back like this whole new man who is just going to destroy Adesanya. It's not going to be like that. He's going to put up more of a fight.
No, he's not going to run him over. But he is not going to fight the way he did. We were literally yelling and screaming. I was yelling, not you. You were excited. But I was yelling and screaming, what is he doing? Like, I felt like he was just playing right into Izzy's game. He was super aggressive. And honestly, the last two fights, you see a very more strategic Robert Whittaker. He did make some mistakes against Cannonier and got popped a couple of times. I think he's going to readjust. He's a former champion. The guy has had a great run. and he's still young. He's not like super old. I think he can get into great shape, have a good camp, good mindset. He could be a problem.
Yeah.
I really do. Am I saying it's a layup, he's gonna beat Izzy? No, I'm not confident.
He's definitely not going to beat Izzy.
But I am very curious. I'm bi-curious, Jesse.
150 thumbs in the air like you don't
Come on,
care.
people!
150 thumbs
Let's go!
in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. Open up your bra, show your tits 7%, yeah. MMA show with the holes and
ready?
the overhand. JBH with the news you really can't compare. Throw your thumbs in the air. Throw your thumbs in the air. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. 150 thumbs in the air like you don't care. The dislikes can listen to Tyron Woodley rap.
That felt good, Jess.
Yeah, I could only do it with one thumb because I'm keeping my fingers under your butt.
Her fingers are under my butt. That's true. Right in my asshole.
My hands are like ice boxes 90% of the time. So I put my fingers
Listen,
under.
we got pregnant JBH over here, so you got to bear with her. She's hanging in there the whole 3 hours. And how about the calls? The calls have been great. Thank you for the thumbs, everything. If you haven't shared it, let's go. Share the stream. Put it on your social media. Say, hey, I stumbled across this channel. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I like it. Share it away. This is our second channel, not the MMA Holes. We'll be back on the main channel in December. Jesse, we can finish up with calls here. We have 9 minutes left in the show, but I say let's just run through the stories real quick and then just end
There's
on.
a lot. Do you really want to run through them?
Yeah, brief. Just brief me. Fight brief me, Jesse.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. As she pulls that up, we got a couple of donations. We'll play here. Uncle Gavage.
Forgot to add this to my call. I had a dream where you guys had the Ellie on the stream. She was the spitting image of JBH. And yes,
so.
Jess, she was a ginger.
I hope
Wonderful,
she is.
wonderful. And Justin Jr. says he's got a new fighter to shout out. Izzy is new Anderson.
I hope you're right.
I
and
want
she
to
is a
ask you
ginger.
guys, what time is
Uncle
it?
Champ! Oh, we didn't change it. Uncle Champ!
Hey, I want to ask you guys, what time is it?
Oh, it's Sam!
Hey, I want to ask you guys, what time is it?
He's still there, Jesse.
JBH, you are looking wonderful, wonderful. Thank you guys for the stream tonight.
Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't feel wonderful, but I appreciate it, Uncle Champ.
We got to change
so nice
that.
of you.
He's 29-0, Jesse. He's not 28 now. We got to change that. But Uncle Champ, thank you, man. Completely.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We're not going to lose the Khabib time donation. We can't, even though he retired. That smile, that beautiful smile. All right.
All right.
So, what do we got here in the news, JBH?
Michael Chandler's calling for a fight with Justin Gaethje.
Okay. That'd be pretty good. What is next? We didn't really discuss that. What's next at 155?
Well,
Like who should fight for the belt? Who would you say?
there's a lot going on about that. Some people were suggesting doing a competition like the old days.
Yes, tournament.
Yeah. Which wouldn't be a bad idea. It'd be a good thing for views.
Uh-oh. Hold on, Jesse. Kiwi coming in now. Come on.
Get loud, MMA holes in the crowd.
Come on, baby.
Come on, get loud, MMA holes in the crowd.
Got
MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd.
Do you think that maybe now would be a good time for Izzy to move to LHW?
No. After he fights Whittaker again, then yes.
Yeah.
If that's something he wanted to do, I would support that.
Yeah, do some damage, right? Keep doing damage at middleweight. It seems like he's pretty ahead of the game over there. I don't think
Yeah,
there's
he's
really
looking good.
much danger going on there. He's
Although
smart to
Till
sit
wants
there.
him. Till wants Izzy.
Wait for Jon Jones. See what Jon Jones does next and rattle off a couple of wins and yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, so lightweight over here, you got Justin Gaethje, who just lost to Khabib. You got Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, Hooker, Oliveira. He was on a nice little run.
Well, I've got something about Oliveira.
You got some real players here. I would like a tournament. A tournament's not going to happen. I believe, the more I think about it, I believe Conor and Dustin are going to be fighting for the interim strap. I mean, not interim. The vacated strap. That's what I believe. I think Tony Ferguson.
But Justin Gaethje is the interim title holder, Moss.
Ooh. Why fuck over Poirier?
Why fuck over Gaethje?
Gaethje's going to get run over by Conor.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No.
Jesus.
This is one I don't agree with, Moss.
Don't do that to Gaethje.
Striker versus striker.
Don't do it to Gaethje.
And
don't
Gaethje
do it
has better wrestling than Conor.
Gaethje just lost. Give him a can.
He just lost to a fucking superior wrestler.
Exactly. But he's going to lose to Conor. I am telling you right now. If they could make this happen soon, if they could put this together in January, the belt's up for grabs. Dustin versus Conor. See what happens there. Now, what would I rather see? A tournament. I would rather see a tournament at lightweight. You know, you got freaking Gaethje, you got Poirier, you got Ferguson, you got Conor, you got Michael Chandler in the mix, you got Charles Oliveira. Hooker, listen, win a fight, and then we can talk about that. But Oliveira, I like in the mix. That's an interesting group of fighters. If you made a tournament, it would be a hell of a lot of fun, and I think that's fair. Instead of giving these guys just a, hey, belts up for grabs, Dominic Reyes Blachowicz, we have arguably the greatest fighter of all time, fight for his belt. No, it should be a fucking tournament. That's what the UFC should do. They should have a tournament, put it together. If you're going to fight for a guy like 29-0 Khabib, Jon Jones, you fucking put a tournament together. But when you have a guy like Conor McGregor, throws a monkey wrench. He's not going to do that. He's like, give me the fucking belt. Because he's got the name, he's got the celebrity status. That's what they're going to do. It's probably going to be Conor Dustin for the vacated belt. What do you think?
I like Conor Dustin, but I say... you know, they were saying Ferguson Chandler was... First of all, Chandler, in my opinion, does not deserve the title shot right now. I mean, he doesn't even have a position on the UFC rankings.
Well, like, you put a tournament together, then they fight for it.
But they're not putting together a tournament.
Why couldn't they make a pay-per-view, right?
Why don't they run back Ferguson Gaethje again? Gaethje's holding the interim strap still. Why don't they run back Gaethje Ferguson again?
Think about this pay-per-view, Jesse.
What? No, like logically, why wouldn't they run it back?
Think about this pay-per-view. You ready for this, Jesse? A pay-per-view of all lightweights. Headlined by Conor Poirier. Co-main event. Tony Ferguson. Justin Gaethje too. Actually, no. Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler does not
Tony
deserve.
Ferguson, Michael Chandler. And Oliveira versus Gaethje.
Then what happens to Poirier?
Let's go. What do you mean? That's the tournament. And the reason why you give Chandler to Gaethje is you give him a guy that's coming out of Bellator. Probably the worst. What's that?
You said Chandler Ferguson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Chandler Ferguson. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on a second. No, wait.
That's what you said.
Let me give it to you again. Dustin Poirier Conor is the main event. All right? Ferguson. Oh. Yeah, I did say that. Okay. All right. Give Ferguson Oliveira and Chandler Gaethje, because I feel like Gaethje, he is the number one contender. Give him probably the lowest man on the totem pole.
Why is Chandler even in this mix?
Because Michael Chandler is a legit fighter. He came from Bellator.
But he's not even on the UFC roster right now. He's not even in the UFC rankings for the lightweight division.
He was on standby to fight for the lightweight belt.
Yeah, even that I don't understand why.
No, it didn't make sense. But if he's already there, let's go. Think about it. A 6-fight main card. You could make this happen.
They're not going to put that many lightweight bouts on the main card of a pay-per-view.
Why not?
They never do that. They always fill it with different division bouts for the top of the main card.
I understand that. But here's the deal. You have a pay-per-view where there's no main event that's a title, right? Conor McGregor is a guy that you could put on a pay-per-view with no belt on the line. So their logic could say, here's the tournament. the first round of the tournament, and you got these 6 fucking fights. I mean, 3 fights.
So that's a tournament. So they would make a bracket then, you're saying? If it's
Yeah.
a tournament, there needs to be a bracket.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I don't know, man. Let's work it out.
Charles is overrated. The last time he fought a top-level fighter, it was Betters and he got choked out.
You know, I think Charles Oliveira's on a nice run. The problem with Oliveira... Hold on. And thank you, Chrome. Where the fuck? What did I do? Where did I go? I went the wrong way. Oh, hello. Here he is. When was the last time he fought? When was the last time Charles Oliveira fought? He fought... Oh, the Kevin Lee fight. Oh, it was this year. Why do I not remember this fucking thing? Completely slipped my mind. So, I mean, not that long ago, if you think about it. I think Oliveira is a lot better than you give him credit for, man.
People been really hating on Chandler, not realizing how good he is.
He is good.
Remember he choked Eddie out and Eddie went on to become UFC champ. Chandler served as a backup to this Khabib. How do you not have him fight for the belt next?
Yeah.
Chandler versus Poirier.
Because regardless of how good he is, he's not even in the UFC rankings for the lightweight division. That makes no sense.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I don't know about that. It's a good fight, but I don't...
For Allah's sake, can you check Justin Zig? Apparently my niggas got y'all a shootout from a fighter or something. I don't know.
What? Thank you, Vlad. Let's see. We're going over time, but it's okay.
Well, we can't go too much because I got food on the stove, Moss.
Is this... Oh, oh, I got to... Oh, man. So, I just unfollowed this guy.
Why?
No joke. I should probably follow him back now.
Why? What happened?
I started unfollowing a bunch of people, and he was one of them. I got to follow him now. Did he give us a shout out?
Big shout out to the MMA-HOLES.
Oh my God, I just unfollowed the guy. Oh shit. Oh fuck, I'm sorry. I literally just unfollowed him. I unfollowed him today. Oh my God. Could you imagine he has like the unfollow app? Guys, don't tell him. Oh shit, I literally just fucking
Hello, this is Juan Adams. Wanted to give a big shout out to the MMA-HOLES. Keep up the great work, Chris and Jesse. Thanks for your support.
Oh my God. Oh, he's probably such a nice guy too. I feel like such a dick. I literally unfollowed him today.
Moss.
You know when you just like thin out the herd? I'm like, he's not gonna fight in the UFC again.
Moss.
Oh my.
Hello, this is Juan Adams. Wanted to give a big shout out to the MMA-HOLES. Keep up the great work, Chris and Jesse. Thanks for your support. Always appreciate you.
What did I do? Oh, I feel like an asshole.
You should.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Justin.
In fairness, you didn't know the shout out was coming.
I didn't know. Yeah, I'm sure he's a very nice guy. I unfollowed him because I was looking at I was like, I don't think we got like some people that we follow. I'm like, why are we even following these people? You know?
Moss over here on an unfollow train.
Oh my God, I literally did it today. That's so... What are the odds of that?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Will Brooks beat Chandler easily twice? Got to the UFC and got ran over harder than that train that hit Matt Hughes. Do you guys really think Chandler will be a contender in the UFC?
Yes, but the problem is if Chandler gets clipped. That's what I'm a little afraid of. Like Chandler can get clipped. But the guy is tough, man. He's got that wrestling. He can knock you out. He's quick. I think he could be problematic for those guys up there. I think he could beat Gaethje. But Gaethje could clip him. I don't know. I think Chandler could make a play. Without Khabib there, it's up for grabs for anyone. All right, let's just go through the news real quick. I know.
Moss, we don't have to go. Listen, it's on the website. If they want to see it, they can go to the website.
Come on, Jesse. These people they're fucking paying their hard-earned money. Just give them the news real quick. Just give them quick stories. Come on, Jesse. Everyone say, come on, Jesse, please.
All right, Daniel Cormier says Khabib's the greatest fighter we've ever seen, so Daniel Cormier thinks Khabib is the GOAT.
Okay. Makes sense. They're buddies.
You saw this already.
Okay, we played this. Jon Jones.
Charles Oliveira says he deserves the lightweight title shot.
Okay. No.
Already talked about this.
I put him in the tournament, but that's about it.
Already talked about this. Cannonier broke his left arm when Whittaker kicked him in the first round.
Okay.
Dana White reacted to Mike Perry's new domestic violence allegations.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What did he say about this? This is always interesting. Mike Perry, never a dull moment.
He said, yeah, I heard about it. I heard that she wanted to get a restraining order and the judge didn't allow the restraining order and nothing really came out of it. He said, I don't know. I have no idea. That's
okay. So he's not adding anything. He's not adding anything. All right. Did I save it? Please. Come on. Did I saved it? Holy shit. I'm going to replay that donation. Man, oh man. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, everything glitched out on us.
Wonderful, wonderful.
What the fuck?
MMA holes need a once per year GOAT discussion stream. Think of it. Tearing each other another a-hole. The salt the butt hurt great times.
All right. And that comes from Glow in the Dark. So speaking of the dark, we're in the dark. Our system has crashed. I saved it, but I don't think I can get our visual back in. What a mess. What the fuck is up with this software? Yes, praise me, please, in the chat immediately. All right. Thank you for the donation, Glow in the Dark. Appreciate that, as our stream is completely crashed. All right. If you guys want to see the stories, go to the MMAHoles.com. I do not know what happened here. That's quite weird. But, yeah, go to the MMAHoles.com for the rest of the stories. Also, thank you to everyone who jumped in on the stream on the phone calls. Thank you to the donators, the likes. Appreciate that. 226 still hanging out, and it's late as fook on the East Coast, so thank you to those people. And we'll see you on Wednesday night for the Wednesday show. Let us know in the comments section what you think about Khabib Nurmagomedov's retirement. Also, we want to know what is next for the lightweights. What should they do? You like the tournament? What should be the next fight? Let us know here. Jesse, I'm going to go to the screen. It's not going to show anything, but let's pretend you're there.
Don't forget, guys, we'll be live for TGIW at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday nights. As always, don't be an a-hole.
Hold on. We got a donation. You can't see it, but what is it?
Chandler is like Ben Askren. Look good in Bellator finding bums and UFC has-beens. He will get wrecked in the UFC.
Okay. I do not know where that... Let me see if I can figure out who that's from. That is from... Oh, that's from Chrome. Thank you, Chrome. Okay, Jesse, you want to try again?
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.